What's up, my Guitkits crew? So good to see you. I'm happy to see you today because we have a very special episode to present to you. You see me, I'm surrounded by some of my favorite 19th century guitars. That's 1800s, people. Please, don't embarrass yourself. So these guitars were all built in the 1800s, man. And Bobby G loves old guitars, man. I got many guitars. My heart, you know what I mean, is closest though to most of the guitars made before 1950. But I especially go a little crazy over guitars made before 1900. Now, all these guitars behind me, that's what we call foreshadowing, man. Foreshadowing what we're going to be dealing with today in today's episode. The first thing I want to talk about, though, I want to talk about general trends, man. Online with people that sell these guitars, amateur, you know what I'm saying, guitar experts, you know what I mean, that deal in these kind of things, or people who really know what they're talking about. Now, in the early days of, like, you know what I mean, I can just hear my voice like, reverberating this old wood. I'm getting crazy even hearing it. But in the old days, you know what I mean, the late 90s, online marketplace, early 2000s, there was a trend to like overestimate the age of a guitar. You know what I mean? There'd be a guitar from like 1950 and they're like, this guitar is from 1900. You know what I mean? There'd be a guitar from like the late, you know what I mean, 1800s, like, this is Jesus's guitar. And there'd be like a picture of Jesus playing it in the description, man. And it was like, obviously, Photoshop, man. It was the Shrouder shredding, man. It was a picture of that, man. But anyway, listen, man. You know what I'm saying? That was in the early days. Now I'm seeing that there's like an opposite trend, especially with like European, you know what I'm saying, sellers, you know what I'm saying, of like DS, man. All the guitars are all made like 1920. This guitar is made about 1920. This guitar is made about 1920. You know, and a lot of these guitars that they're thinking of made in 1920 are actually a lot older, you know. By 1920, they were using like these tuners that were like, you know, more like black and like, you know, not like bone, you know what I mean? They were some kind of like wood or, you know what I mean? Early, like, you know, what's that called? The baked like plastic kind of thing, man. You know what I'm saying? These people are selling like tuners that are like ivory bone in there. You know, they're obviously original. You know, that's 1800s, man. You know what I mean? Early 1900s. A lot of people just, you know what I'm saying? They're just being too cautious in their guitar estimating skills. That's just my observation, man. So let's get back to, you know what I mean, all these guitars behind me. Let's get back to Bobby G and what I like, because this is my show. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're talking about, man. Now, every 6 months or so, you know what I mean, put away at least $300 to buy a guitar off the internet, be it Reverb, eBay, you know, maybe Craigslist sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I succumb to that. You know what I'm saying? I always make sure that I stay under $300. I don't like to pay more than $300 for a guitar. I have all these guitars I'm always showing you guys every week. Hey man, look, the average price of those guitars I'm paying for at a swap meet is like $10. That's like a swap meet guitar. You know, some of them are worth, you know what I mean, 50, $60, $100, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, these are swap meet guitars. You know what I mean? I have my limited swap meet like $30. Limit on the internet is 300. I'll go to the swap meet every week, buy a guitar if I could for $10. You know what I mean? There's different, you know what I mean? There's different levels, man. Internet guitar, something you saw that, you thought about, it's in your mind recently. You know what I'm saying? A lucky, you know what I mean, search, you know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. Last time I presented to you, like one of them that was like really earnest in my heart, man, was probably that Rezo Glass airline guitar that we did last year. I'm thinking, I can't think of another guitar, you know what I mean, that I really like, oh, I'm going to buy this, man, off the internet. Anyway, so lately, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I had a couple dollars on it, kind of, you know what I mean, stuffed away from my taxes. You know what I'm saying. And I got a whole bunch of points on this PayPal credit card I have, like $40 worth of points on there. I had like a coupon from Venmo they sent me for $5. So you know, I'm like, yeah, man. I just sold some stuff on eBay too, man. You know, I'm sort of comfortable, man. I'm comfortable. You know what I'm saying, man? Comfortable, man. I can do this, man. So I started going through the internet, you know what I mean, thing, man, bookmarking things on Reverb. You know, that you're like, ooh, this is nice. You know, all day long, all night long. Now eBay, I always like search all the European sites, man. European sites when you like old romantic guitars, man. those romantic style guitars, man. That's the place to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many guitars that were made in Europe. You know, when they had the guilds and the little Santa Claus workshops and shit, man, making all guitars everywhere, man. They're all over Europe. You get them relatively cheap. A lot of people don't really know what they are, what their value is, especially to Americans. They'll pay extra for that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Bobby G's like searching and all these. Now, there's a way to really that if you just go to regular American eBay and you can spell that shit in their language, like, antique guitar in Italian, or, antique guitar in German or French or whatever, you'll get, you know what I mean, all the people that will ship to America from eBay, man. It's true, man. A lot of these people, you know what I mean, write their descriptions in their own language. That's why, you write antique parlor guitar and you're not getting all their, results. Some of the German people are smart, man. You see a lot of German results in there, but you never really see Italian results or French. And these are really, like, Italy is a really prime pickings for old guitars, but they don't like to sell. Like, a lot of them, the sellers like, fuck the American, man. These guitars belong to the Italian man. You know what I'm saying? They don't like to, trade out their shit. The Germans too, like, we don't deal with any of these scumbags. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's lots and lots of guitars in Germany. So you go to ebay.de. There's lots of romantic guitars on there, but half of them won't send any shit out to America. Like, fuck America, fuck them. Anyway, man, they're still sore about shit, even though we've made them rich under the Marshall Plan. It all, you know what I'm saying? It all comes down to science, people. So let's talk about Bobby G and his little, you know what I mean, search on the internet for a new guitar, man. You know what I'm start doing. Now, I always really, really, really in my heart always wanted like a Biedermeier style guitar from, like, Italy, Vienna preferably, in the Viennese school that has the, the big wide peanut shape. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like the Miyakour, you know what I mean? And this is like an English guitar. I'm talking like this, but like, you know what I'm saying, man? A fatter version, bigger fucking thing. Now, these were pretty much developed in Italy, but they were perfected in Vienna. Vienna, in, like, I'd say the 1820s, 1830s, there was this, flourishing of the middle class, where before, like, the nobility sort of had everything, you know what I'm saying? And everybody in the nobility had nothing. Just like plain shit, like plain, unembellished guitars and shit. But the guild people that catered to the upper class, you knew, you know what I mean, that the Industrial Revolution was coming through England. You know what I mean? It was coming through, you know what I mean, Germany. It was starting to take hold. So they made a push. All the artisans made a push to sort of make, ornate stuff for the middle class. So these people didn't go out and buy like a $10 guitar that was made in a factory somewhere. You know what I mean? They'd buy like a $15 guitar that was kind of embellished, that was made in Santa Claus' little hut. You know what I'm saying? They're smart. That was the Biedermeier style, man. All the artisans were appealing, you know what I mean, to the middle class. Now, Vienna was the center of the attention of the Biedermeier movement, man. You know what I'm saying? They were like, you know what I mean, the Mecca. My great grandfather, he's from Austria too. He's from Dombrova, Austria. That's where he was born, man. So I got people in Austria, man. I got roots in that section, man. You know what I'm saying? So this whole thing is sort of taking a Bobby G, you know what I'm saying, like a personal thing. Get personal with me, man. You get personal with me, I'll get serious about it. But anyway, so, you know what I'm saying, I started like just bookmarking all these different, you know what I mean, potential, like all the guitars. Now, these are expensive, man. Hard to find guitars that have those friction pegs on the top. I'm talking about the friction pegs, man. I'm talking old school. I'm talking back in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? And before they even use a regular tuner, we're talking old school, man. So I was bookmarking, and I had like maybe 5, 6, 7 guitars that were all kind of over my budget, man, like $400 or $500. Translating with euros, and they were all kind of fucked up. And I had one that was actually from the Italian website, man. The whole description was in Italian, man. And that's from like the mid 1800s. This guy was saying no later than 1870. You know what I mean? From Naples, Italy. You know what I'm saying? It was my guitar. It was the one that was real fucked up. All the frets were missing. You know what I mean? I watched it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I say it was listed for $350 euros roundabout. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden I get an offer, sent to me, because when you watch stuff on eBay, you know what I mean? People, as a seller, you know what I'm saying? So you send that motherfucker an offer right away as soon as they watch it, and they'll buy it sometimes, you know what I mean? So he sent me an offer for 250 euros, like 100 euros off. I was like, what the frick was that, really? And I was like, then I started doing my math and with the shipping and shit, you know what I mean? Euros right now is about, I'd say, worth $1.10. You know what I'm saying? A little bit over our thing, especially eBay takes a little chunk out of that if you want to convert your currency, or PayPal will do, or your credit card. Somebody's going to take 3% off your ass for converting your currency. Just remember that. You got to pay taxes still. You got to pay shipping. So I was doing it in my math in my head. Now, after parts, I was still over the 300 mark. You know, so I said, okay, man. All right, tough guy. 210 euro. You know what I'm saying? And he comes back at me at 230. I was like, 230? That's great. That's right where I want to be. You know, I said, this motherfucker, let me try to get a little bit lower, man. So what did I put in there? I think I put it in 220. I didn't hear back from him. But I really just didn't, remember that in Italy it was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was like, this dude, what the hell, man? You know what I'm saying? Why is he on 220, man? He'll do 230. I was like worried that he's like, fuck, he's the guy. He's the guy. I think I'm a stupid. But anyway, man, you know what I'm saying? I emailed him and said, hey, man, just say 227, I'll take it, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as I sent him that message, he sent me the offer for like 226. And I was like, oh, 226 euro. And I did the math, come out to $285. $310 after the taxes, the shipping, and everything. I had the $40 from the PayPal to take that off there, man. We're already under budget, and I had a couple things that I was already under budget. It was great, man. It was great. It's in the mail, man. And my friend that I bought it off from Naples is actually a great guy, man. I talked to him. He's got all kinds of different guitars, you know what I mean? I told him to be on the hunt for this for me. I didn't mean to offend you, my man. David, peace be with you, my brother. You know what I mean? Let's become friends, man. Seriously. You're my friend for life now. You sent me this guitar, man. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. So I went right to AliExpress. Now a lot of people, you see on these restoration of these romantic guitars, these professional Luthers, man. Hey, man, I'm Luther from Coach, man. Remember him, man? Jerry Van Dyke. Anyway, so these guys will be like, with their little mill work, like these things pretty much take, these friction peg guitars take, it's essentially like a viola, you know what I mean, peg. It's really the same exact thing. You look at it, you know what I mean, the 9mm hole, you know what I mean. It's friction, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, you can buy them off AliExpress for like, you know what I mean, less than $10 a set. With an end pin and everything, like real nice, you know what I mean? With, you know what I'm saying, inlay in there, made out of whatever wood you want. Chinese are great, you know what I'm saying? And I got a set of bridge pins, I set an end pin, you know what I mean? A set of frets, you know what I mean? They're exactly like the old frets, the 2mm, the real skinny ones, man. I paid like $20 delivered for all the parts I need for it, and I'm not going to be in there milling, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this peg, looks perfect, you know what I mean? Fuck that, man. For $20, we'll waste all that time trying to make a fucking peg. You know what I mean? Don't look down at shit, people. Don't look down at shit, man. And I got some beautiful, beautiful looking like a fucking bridge pins and everything, man. I'm excited. So, I'm going to do some research, man. I'm going to turn you around before it comes, man. I'm going to give you a little information that I get off the internet about these guitars. I know you're curious. You know what I'm saying? You used to be talking about, like, you know what I mean, shredders and fucking other kind of crap, $10 shit. And this is like a world-class instrument, man. I believe that you'll be very, very educated by this episode. So please stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Watch the whole long episode. Peace be with you. I'm going to flip you around right now. We're going to go right to the learning center, man. Right to the reading room. Yeah. Welcome to the Learning Annex. My name is Tyrell. I'll be seating y'all. It's $4.50 for a seat in the front. You can pay that to me up front, or I'll knock your teeth out. Holding your beef, holding your teeth. Listen to me, man. Let's learn about this, man. I want to tell you right now what this is. Right, I'm not going to jerk around the bush, man. This is a Viennese-style guitar, probably from Vienna. Round about, I'd say, between 1830 and 1850. Not 1840. You know what I'm saying? 1839. Just want to be contrite with you. 1838, man. How you know, Bobby G, man? We pulling your leg. Well, I talked to my man over at romanticguitars.com, man. This guy is a world class, you know what I mean, expert on romantic guitars. First thing he said to me is, "That's a Guadagnini guitar, man." I was like, "Oh yeah, you sure, man?" You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit about my man Gaetano Guadagnini, man. This guy is the grandson of Giovanni Guadagnino. Guadagnini. He was one of the greatest Italian luthiers, right next to Stradivarius, man. He's number 2, man. He's like Salieri to Mozart, man. He's the second best in the Italian luthier game, man. And this is his grandson. We're going to be talking a lot of grandsons and family shit coming up, man. But I'll get into it. So let's go through all my examples, man. What I got to show you, man. These are all the pictures from the auction. I want to show you every one of them so you can get acquainted with it. Now, we're going to see this guitar in the flesh when it comes, man. So we're not going to waste too much time with these pictures. I just want you to quickly get acknowledged with it just by the photographs. You know what I'm saying? That I saw that made me fall in love, man. I want you to notice this little hump in the back here. See this little hump? Time to get your hump on, man. It's kind of be humped out, man. See that hump in the back, man? I want you to get all humped out, man. That's a special hump, man. See that hump? Lots of pictures of the hump, man. Ain't nobody humping around, man. This is that special headstock. You know what I'm saying? Weird kind of ovation style. 2 original pins left, man. Pegs, pins, whatever the fuck. Don't know what's going on in the ice cream cone there, man. What is that, man? We will find out, man. We will find out. Is that like a way to tighten it, man? Maybe not, man. It's just chip paint, man. This is the crack, man, that broke the mother's back. We'll attend to this. We'll see something else going on here. You know what I'm saying? Oof. That one hurts, man. That one hurts. You lost your rosewood. Somebody's, you know what I mean, fiending out the rosewood for gold. I'm depressed in Europe, man. Hey, man, I'll give you a piece of rosewood for a loaf of bread. Kaiser roll. So there it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Aren't you proud of me, Bobby G? Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. So, what kind of guitar is this, man? I ain't gonna keep wasting your time, man. Let's get back into what we're talking about. This is an example of a Guadagnini guitar by Gaetano himself, man. Around 1831. You know what I'm saying? Got this off the internet. The guy restored it. Did a good job restoring it, man. You see the guy's label inside, man. You see he's got this mustache bridge. Now, my man was operating out of Turin, Italy, man. That's where his base was, man. You know what I'm saying? And he sort of, you know what I mean, came up with this style, with this big, you know what I'm saying, elongated, you know, the top is big fat, you know, it's a big fat kind of looking guitar, you know what I'm saying? Whereas before they were like just like a little peanut sort of Baroque looking guitar earlier on in the 1800s. He was the first one to sort of do that, man. But his guitar differs in features than ours, and I'll get into it, man. This guitar right here is a Stouffer guitar from the 1860s, man. It's a late era Stouffer guitar, like a nice Stouffer guitar. And you see he's kind of got like a little bit of Meerkort, you know, waist, you know, in there, real thick waist. This is by the son, by Johann Anton Stouffer. You know what I'm saying? Stouffer not only was a leading, you know what I'm saying, developing scientific technician of frozen macaroni and cheese, man was also, you know, the godfather of Viennese lutherie, man. The grandfather, he was one of the, you know what I mean, hands down top luthiers of Vienna. Early 18th century, people. Early 18th century, that's the 1700s. Okay? I know some of you guys want to be smart, but don't, you know what I mean, talk about shit if you're not smart enough to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here's another one, another Stouffer one, a little bit earlier one. This might have, you know what I mean, might have had Pops working on this one. That would be Johannes George's Stouffer. The second, I believe, right? Anton was the son that pretty much rode out the Stouffer legacy into the 1860s, man. This is like the middleman making the guitars in the 1800s. Now, these two guys, they got into a contract, you know, war. Pretty much the big star of Europe at the time was this Italian guy, Luigi Legnani. He was like Jimi Hendrix of Europe back then, and you know, they sought his sponsorship, and he would hang out in the workshop, You know what I'm saying? And their main luthier at the time was this guy by the name of Bernard Ensberger. You know, he was the man. You know who else was in the shop? You know who else was in the shop at the time? I'll tell you. C.F. Martin, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? C.F. Martin was also in the shop at the same time. So this guy, Luigi, he be down there, man, like, I want you to make it like this. I want you to make it like this. You know what I'm saying? And he liked that. You know what I'm saying? This peanut style, man. You know what I'm saying? So we had Bernard make him all kinds of guitars and shit. Legend is that Luigi got into making guitars himself, but we have no proof of that, man. You know what I'm saying? I could have spread fake news. But again, see that little impregnated hump on the back of the Stouffer, man? You see that, man? Stouffer's got something in the oven, man. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't a lasagna. A lasagna, man. That's nice back, man. And see the split down the middle on the Stouffer? That's the mark of Bernard Ensberger. He's the one who came up with that split down the middle and not the hunchback for Luigi. You know, that was his calling card, man. This is his. You know what I'm saying? This is another Stouffer, man. Another Stouffer Bofer, man. This is definitely just got the Luigi label in there, the big Luigi seal, man. Luigi likes this guitar. Even on their labels, they put Luigi's name above even Stouffer, man. They were all about it. Kissing the ass, this motherfucker. But you see, it's got that big fat. Started getting all fat. Now, Bernard Ensberger left, man. He's like, fuck it is. I'm going to get my own shop, man. He wasn't talking Italian, man, because he was, you know what I'm saying? He was German, actually, man. My man Ensberger was actually from Fusan, right? From Fusen. I don't know how you say that, man. Fusen. Some shit like that. Germany. And he emigrated to Vienna. You know what I mean? Early on in his life. I believe he was born in the late 1780s. And he immigrated to, first, I believe he worked with Wirt in the early 1800s when he was like 16 or 17. He began to apprentice with Wirt in Vienna. And then by 1810 or 11, he was already with Stouffer, man. He was with Pops, and he was with Stouffer Jr., man. He was with C.F. Martin. You know what I'm saying? He was doing his Stouffer lean cuisine, man. Now, this is an example of Ensberger on his own, an early example. The shop was taken over by his son, another Bernard Ensberger, around about 1865, and a grandson took it over right before the turn of the century. And after he died, that was the end of Ensberger. But there was no peace between Ensberger and Stouffer. You know what I'm saying? There was bad times once he set up shop. You know what I'm saying? Because both of them continued to make the, Luigi style. But Ensberger said, hey, man, I was the guy who worked with Luigi, man. I came up with this concept, put it in the guitar, and he got in a big fucking fight with Stouffer. And in 1831, the city of Vienna actually granted the rights to make these big fat top guitars to Ensberger and Ensberger only. Which fucking, you know what I'm saying? That put a lid on Stouffer's mac and cheese, man. You know what I'm saying? It was like Stouffer's cream chip beef, man. Here's another Ensberger guitar. You know what I'm saying? He got that big fat top. Just like our guitar, really. You know what I'm saying? Very, very similar, man. Peg heads and ship the friction pieces, man. This is the back. You see the ice cream cones below deck, man. You know what I'm saying? You see old Ensberger's label. This is a Bernard Ensberger. Nobody else. We got copyright on the big fat guy, man. He really was just stealing the Goganini. Man. He's stealing the style, man. He's stealing, he's ripping off. You see how he's got the weird kind of, like, he's starting to get the doing the variation. Used to just be, this would be like a, you know what I mean, peanut shape. Now he's starting to, like, you know what I mean, get a little bit creative, man. Saying he was the master, but you see his guitars were simple, though. You know what I'm saying? He was the master, but his guitars were, like, simple. There was no big binding on it, you know what I'm saying? This is a certified Ensberger guitar, man. You know what I'm saying? And his guitars are sought out. You know, they were 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20 grand. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the embellishments. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of his guitars are really, really simple affairs. Now let's talk about some famous motherfuckers. Let's start like dropping some names, man. You see this, man? What you see, man? Just focus on that, man. This is a guitar that was made by Ensberger that belonged to my man, Franz Schubert, man. Can you fucking dig on that, man? Now, I know there's a lot of controversy in the musical community. Schubert was a guitar player. He wasn't a guitar player. He wrote his music on guitar. He didn't. I saw a guy at Florida State University who actually wrote his whole thesis, you know what I'm saying, with all the members of the musical department and people from other schools, like, supporting him. You know, saying that yes, Schubert was a guitar player, man. Yes, you know, guitar was his fucking thing. He was always broke. Couldn't even afford a piano most of his life. Probably did all his shit on guitar. I'm not gonna argue about Schubert. I don't really give a fuck about him, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this guitar right here ended up in the Schubert Museum in Vienna. This was a guitar that was made by Enzberger that he favored, you know, toward the end of his life. Now, he died of cirrhosis and syphilis, I think it was, around about 1828. So, I mean, this is probably from 1825, you know what I mean? Because I know that Enzberger set up his own shop 1816. By 1820, he was the man. 1831, you know, and he was the top dog. So this is probably from 1825. This is the other guitar owned by Schubert. This was made by Stouffer by like 1815. And this is what I'm talking about, that early fucking peanut style. You know what I'm saying? It's got that. This is what all the old Baroque shit looked like. You know what I'm saying, man? That real early 1800s look, man. You know what I'm saying? With the frets, you know what I mean? Right in the top of the guitar and everything, man. That's Schubert's original guitar. He loved that guitar. That's the one he gave it to his brother. And that's also in the museum. Now, this guitar, man, disappeared after the Second World War. Gone. Gone, man. The Nazis stole that shit. It's not in the museum anymore. Gonzo, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is a picture that was discovered that was published by that FSU thing I was telling you about. This was drawn by a good friend of Schubert during Schubert's lifetime, published during Schubert's lifetime, you know, in 1820 roundabout. You know, Schubert getting his little carriage. You see him with his little fucking dog and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Here's his valet holding this fucking guitar, bro. See that? He's holding his guitar. You can tell just looking at that guitar, you know what I'm saying? That it's this guitar, man. And it's not this guitar. You know, so maybe it is. I don't know, man. But it sort of looks like, you know what I mean? It looks like the one that's made by Stouffer, man. The early Stouffer one. That's still in the museum, man. Here's a picture of it in the museum right now. This is taken by Rufus Wainwright. You see Rufus Wainwright and his boyfriend. Oh, look at that beautiful guitar. You can actually see the ghost of Schubert with his little fucking dog in the background. Hello, boys. You want to see my guitar? Anyway, man, that's it, though, man. That's the original. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what happened to the Enzberger, man. There's some Nazi in a cave playing it to this day, man. You know what I'm saying? Highland Hitler all day long. So let's talk about what we got, man. Let's stop like, you know, lollygagging, man. Because I know you guys are tired of hearing me. You know, I've wasted like 15 minutes of your time so far in this video, just bullshit and gabbing. We don't even have the guitar in our hands yet. This is the back, front, side, you know what I'm saying, of the guitar we were talking about in the beginning. This is the Guitkits guitar. You see, it's just flat up and down, man. There's no curve. There's no curve coming out the back. Ain't nobody humping around this guitar. It's just straight up and down. They're straight as an arrow. And you see all the frets are right into the top of the guitar, man. Fine instrument made in Turin. You know what I'm saying? This is not our school, man. Not our school, man. Although that shape, definitely our shape, man. That's the shape we got, man. This right here, this is a Stouffer guitar. Around 1830, something like that, 1821. Some shit like that. Owned by the Metropolitan Museum of Art here in New York, man. This is made by Stouffer, Anton Stouffer, the son. It was 1830, I think, 1831. I don't know, I forget. But see, it's got, is somebody humping around, man? Is somebody humping around this motherfucker? Humping. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful, man. Beautiful humping around this guy. You know what I'm saying? Now we're going to look at it early. This is 1834. Enzberger. This is not an Enzberger that had the Luigi Legnani sponsorship, man. This is just one of his other, you know, commissioned pieces. It's got like a mirror core. You know, it's kind of rare for him. It's got some embellishment. But just to show you, though, man, it's still got somebody humping around in the back, man, with Enzberger, man. You know what I'm saying? See that? Is somebody humping around? Is somebody humping around? Right? And then we got our guy, man. Definitely somebody humping around there, man. You know what I'm saying? He's got a little. He's humping around with a little hole, man. Humping with the little hole, man. How do you hump with the little hole? I don't know, man. That's just the way he does it, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man. So we're done learning about it, man. I'll just put this down. Already wasted the next 20 minutes of your time, man. Next stop, opening the fucking package when it comes. The unboxing, the great time. So why my magic finger? I'm gonna stab it, man. Like that. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, and go. So So fucking finally, look at that, man. Already got a package from China. You know what I mean? We're like 44 days out. Let's go for this guy's side for a minute. Let's talk about the big dog first, man. It's here. You know what I mean? It's been real hot. It's been like 90 degrees, for the past 2 or 3 days here, at least, over 100 degrees. And in Milan for the past like month, it's been about 100 degrees too, man. So I've been worried about where the fuck this package is, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about it. It had to be opened by customs in 2 different countries. Got all this customs wrap around it, man. You know what I'm saying, people? Custom sheets and all kinds of stuff. I'm real curious. It looks like it didn't get beat up too bad. I'm excited, man. Excited. Let me try to hang this up from above so we can do a true unboxing. Alright, folks. So here we are, about to crack open this girl, man. You know, let me see what's going on. Now, just to review where we are, man, I think this guitar is probably around 1840. That's my guess, man. My man David, that I bought it off of from Milan, obviously knows a lot about guitars. He's saying it's probably around 1870. That's his guess. You know what I'm saying? My man Len, over at earlyromanticguitars.com, who I bored him to tears trying to convince him, you know what I mean, what guitar this was. He thinks it's an Italian guitar, anywhere from 1820 through 1911. I was like, 1911, man, you're being crazy, Len. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, you know what I mean, pre-1840. I tried to convince him. I emailed him all these facts and pictures, and, you know the way I am. Pretty much what I just showed you, that video, I emailed him all that stuff, you know. He never really changed his mind, man. So I was at the swap meet the other day, man. And I love National Geographic magazine. I used to collect it when I was a little kid. Right around the time I was 10. My grandfather's brother, you know what I mean, he passed away, and he gave me his whole collection of National Geographic. So by that time, I was already collecting them. But he had a lot of them, So I used to, you know what I mean, I used to really try to collect all the old ones. And from the teens, man, they're the best, man. The early ones. I found this. See this, man? Italy. The gifted mother of civilization. Now, the reason this probably took so long in customs is there's lots of antiquities coming in and out of Italy. You know that, right? You know what I'm saying? The Roman Empire, that's the boot, man. So it probably took a long time to make sure this wasn't like a national treasure. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. So I got this magazine. I was thinking about what Len was saying. I started thumbing through it. Now, National Geographic, let me give you a little bit of sub rant here. When I collected it when I was a kid, I thought this was like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The authority of like being an international man, you know what I'm saying? This is the National Geographic Society, these are all explorers, man. I looked at the early rosters, Alexander Graham Bell was on there. Perry, the guy who discovered the North Pole, like all kinds of people. Byrd, the South Pole, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, National Geographic Society, I want to do that when I grow up, even though these people were all long dead, you know what I mean? But I found out they actually got there they're starting like a weird way, man, where they would send like somebody off on a world cruise of 4 or 5 different, like a writer, 4 or 5 different countries, like Mediterranean cruise, like African cruise, something like that, man. And the person would stop like 4 or 5 ports, write these romantic stories, take a couple pictures with their photographer, and then like buy like pictures from other people, man. Believe that, man? They weren't even like all National Geographic pictures in the beginning. It was all like buying shit. You know what I mean? So I was like, Italy, man. So I looked at this, man. And I was like, I wonder if that's, you know what I mean, legitimate. So I was thumbing through here, man. I found this picture here. Look at that, man. And see, look, he's playing his guitar. You know what I mean? 1915. It's got like, you know what I'm saying, pegs on it. It's a little tiny thing, you know what I'm saying? Look at this racist thing here, man. Says, music is as necessary to the Italian people as their mild wine and spaghetti. The fuck, man? That's just fucking... Hey, all right? But look at this, took a picture, man. It wasn't National Geographic. Photographed by Von Gloden. This guy probably didn't even play guitar, man. It's Von Gloden, probably some German photographer. Came down, did some antiquing in Italy, you know what I mean? I'm going to sell some pictures to National Geographic. This my model. Come on, Giuseppe, unbutton your shirt and carry this guitar, this antique I bring back to Germany. Hey, my name is Luigi Legnani. Don't talk to me, man. Just give me my lira. You know what I'm saying, man? I don't know, man. Anyway, so there it is, man. Am I rambling? Yeah, I'm rambling, man. Is that an old guitar? Is that an antique guitar that's 100 years old in that picture? Or is that an Italian guitar made in 1915? I don't know, man. Is it a Vienna guitar like I thought it was? I don't know. I don't know, man. So let's get this thing open, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to cut all this plastic off here. You know what I'm saying? And I'll come right back to you when we're all cut off. You know what I mean? I don't waste your time. Alright, folks, here we get to the good part, man. Here we get to the good part. Be careful, man. Be careful you don't cut yourself. You can tell it's been opened. There's 2 or 3 different kinds of tapes on here. Buy the custom somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I understand that they got people that are specialized. People who are sensitive. It's important nature. It's art. Yeah. I don't want to waste your time here, but it's like I am wasting time. Hey. Hey. What are you looking at, eh? You take a look at it. Yeah. When I buy a guitar from Europe, they always have colorful shopping bags, man. And being from New Jersey, now shopping bags are banned. I have to hold out of them. You know what I mean? Use them for my own craft. Hope this thing doesn't get beheaded, man. Bulky soft napkins. Made in Germany. They're bulky and they're soft. Clean up your shit. A box this dude made himself, you can tell. These are special collection. I don't think the authorities even bothered, man. I think they just decorate it from here. I mean, I don't know, man. Oh, look at all those bags, man. All those shopping bags, man. Those people who live in New Jersey know what I'm talking about. Just a bag like this now is worth its weight in gold. Now I got ones from around the world, man. From the boot, man. Oh, starting to forget what guitar I'm on ramping, man. It's been so long. Almost forgot about this project altogether. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was going to ever come. My daughter comes running upstairs. Daddy, I think that long lost Italian guitar's finally here. It didn't get ripped off. It wasn't a stand. I was like, it wasn't a stand. It wasn't a stand. I wasn't scanned. All right. Oh. Man. This is the best rap guitar of all time, I'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? Usually they just get a guitar box and put it in there with a bunch of peanuts. Holy shit. Hey, I want to be safe. Oh. I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to actually work up a sweat in here, man. I'm trying to keep this like centered in the camera's view. That's like a real job here, people. Who says I'm a slave king, man? Oh, holy Christmas tree. Tony Danza, what's going on here, man? Oh. And there's one for the priest, there's one for the father. Here's one for his brother. Oh, I knocked the camera down almost. Sorry about that, people. Oh. Sorry about that, man. I got too excited something. This thing is not even sharp enough. The knife's not even that sharp. I like scissors, just cut through your feet, man. This is like $100 worth of bubble wrap, man. 100 euros, man. 312 lira. The funk currency. That's all I'm getting here. It's like a Harmony 929. You know what I'm saying? It's not even made out of plastic. Like he'll never be able to unwrap it by the time he dies. Oh, the suspense is just fucking killing me. Oh, there's another layer, man. Holy shucks. It's like a fifth layer, man. Oh. Like this neck is disconnected. Feels like that neck is like totally disconnected from the guitar, folks. It was not described like that. into listening at all. However, I mean, that's not really a big deal. Depending on if it broke, you know what I mean? It was suffocated. You know, it was definitely, this neck is definitely detached, man. Oh. We're getting there, baby. I mean, if the neck was detached, why wouldn't he have just, you know what I'm saying, sent it in like a square box? Suppose this big long guy. That's what I'm saying. Oh, this is a very old guitar. Now I can see it, you know what I'm saying? Now that I can see it properly. Like these are the pegs. Throw our tune in. We'll unwrap those pegs in a little bit, man. First we'll unwrap. Ooh, this thing looks like it's broke. Looks like it might have broke on its way over here. Holy shit. That's not good, man. Holy shit, that's broke, man. Well, looks like it's okay, man. I don't know why you wouldn't have just shipped it like this. This is old as hell, though. Yeah. Look at that, man. Oh. Whew. Man. Alright, let's not waste any more time. Let's open that Chinese package, because that in itself has a story to tell. Alright, folks, so welcome to the parts unboxing, man. Is that exciting to you? It's exciting to me, man. Exciting to me. So, this came in at day 26, man. Day 26 has arrived before the guitar even. Way before the guitar. This lone package on my doorstep. And the funny thing is, that day, I got this package on my doorstep. Right in front of my mailbox. And inside my mailbox, I got all my neighbors' mail. And my neighbor hates me. You know what I'm saying? Most of my neighbors hate me. Pretty much everybody I know hates me. You might hate me too. You know what I mean? This is a destructive relationship we're in. Anyway, so I actually was a good guy, man. I walked my you know what I mean, mail over to my neighbor's house. I saw his mailbox was full of mail. I didn't have the balls to like open, you know, his mailbox up and like look through it, see if it was mine. You know what I'm saying? I never got that day's mail though, you know what I mean? So anyway, man, I just took my little package inside and put it downstairs, you know. I was like, cool, man. Cool in the gang, man. You know what I mean? So a couple of weeks went by. I got none of those other packages from China. Still didn't get the guitar. Starting to get bugged out, man. And I said, what's going on, man? So I look at AliExpress. I haven't been at AliExpress in a long time. No real need for it, you know what I mean? Didn't really need anything. Got a lot of parts. You know what I'm saying? Stocked up. You know what I'm saying? So I saw all three of them were marked as delivered. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's bullshit, man. I was like, only one part got delivered, man. I only one package, you know what I mean? I looked at the date and everything. It was already like a week before that. I was thinking to myself, like, oh, wow, wait a minute. I was like, that was the day that I got the douchebag's mail and I returned it. He probably got those parts, that motherfucker. And I was about to fight him, fight the post office, email AliExpress. I was about to explode, man. I was like, all right, well, cool, man. All right, cool, man. Calm down, Bobby G, man. You know, crazy, man. You don't want to start a fight, man. You want to go to jail, man. You want to get locked up, man. And get kit, man. Be the shit kit, man. Let's go downstairs, open that package, and see out of those three, you know what I mean, packages, which ones you got. So, you know what I mean? You got to get a little storyline going here, man. Two of your packages missing, Bobby G. You've been wrong, man. You've been wrong, man. So anyway, I went back home, you know what I mean? You know, relaxed, went down to the basement, calmed down a little bit, man. Went downstairs, You know, took my blood pressure medication. Found this package, man. I was like, yeah. I feel like it's like you know, very well wrapped, man. You know what I'm saying? This must be like, you know what I mean, the tuning pegs, man. This looks like a world class operation, man. I bet you tuning pegs is what I got, man. This guy was. I looked at it on the thing here. There's a tuning pegs, right? That's all it says, man, on the thing. It's like tuning pegs, man. That's all I got, man. I put it down. I got mad again, man. I started yelling at the basement wall. I started yelling at my other guitars, man. I was yelling at myself, man. I was hoarse, man. I couldn't even. I was like, motherfucker. And I was about to go over there and storm his house. You know what I mean? I was about to storm the post office, man. I was going to go anti-unpostal, man. I was crazy. I was all right, Bobby G, man. Calm down, man. Calm down, man. I opened up AliExpress again. I checked it again. Sure enough, every one of those packages was delivered on the same date. It's like, this is bullshit, man. This is fucking bullshit, man. I got madder and madder. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, all right, well, you know, calm down. So for like 2 or 3 days, I stewed around about it. So what am I to do? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fight this guy, man. Fight the Postal Service, man. You know, I had other things to take care of. So I was like, you know, let me just check out those pegs. One day, my daughter kept saying, why don't you just open that package and make sure the violin pegs are good? You know what I mean? Maybe they put everything in the same package like they did the last time you got something from AliExpress. I was like, what? So what are you talking about? She's like, you remember that last time you got all that stuff from AliExpress? You were building that one guitar? Charvel one? I was like, yeah, I remember that. So remember how they put it all in one package? I was like, yeah, I remember that. And I remember AliExpress had this little thing, right? Where, like, you know what I mean, all their people, when there was like that big embargo on China, they would all, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? AliExpress set up their own little shipping thing where they could mail their products to AliExpress themselves. You know what I mean? AliExpress would mail it all out together. You know what I mean? In one package. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know, combined shipping. I was like, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. So I opened up the package from the back. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what? 1 package? 2 package? 3 packages. Oh, my God, what a fucking asshole I am, man. I truly am an asshole, man. I feel bad about being an asshole. But anyway, man, so let's open these further. You know, I got these on the table. These are some old mandolin, you know what I mean, frets, just in case I need extras, man. I want to see if they're the same variety. Let's just open them one by one, man. Let's take this one first, because it looks like, you know what I mean. I got the hiccups, man. I was excited telling you that story, man. I have to take some of my lantern now, man. See that? Perfect. They're nice and gold and early stuff. Look how thin they are. Oh my God. I'm so excited about these. These are especially what I want. Oh, into that gold style like the old one. See, I'm telling you, Chinese craftsmanship, people. Chinese craftsmanship, man. Got no date code on that package. I mean, they're like golden, like all the original early frets that were this like thin were all golden colored, man. Perfect, man. Perfect on that part, man. Let's check out this part. See what it is. This box looked like it made it through the storm, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Enough speculating, man. It's time for correculating, man. No speculate, only correculating, man. Conversating, correculation, man. It feels good. It feels like, you know what I mean? Classy product is inside this little piece, man. Yeah, the AliExpress helping each other out, man. You see that? They're not even competitors. I can't see them. Sorry, I'm not like that, man. I got a little phone between me and my hand, man. I'm like discoordinated, man. Trying to do this in a classy manner where I don't ruin the packaging. Look at that, man. Oh, look at that end pin too. Yes, I forgot about that. I needed an end pin too. Oh wow, that's gorgeous, man. Forgot how nice looking the picture. That's even better than I expected. Oh, look at that again. That's inlaid, folks. You see that? That's inlay, man. That's marquetry work. That's a piece of mother and pearl. And a little piece of, like, that's beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. See that? These are very, very nice. This seller, his name is Michael. Sweet Craft International Music. Right? I give Mike A big A plus for this. Beautiful quality. If you could feel them, you'd be like, wow. And I'll compare this with the one on the guitar in just 1 second, man. Just when we're done this. Let's not break our little stride, man. We'll get to that individually afterwards, man. Alright, so this, now I'm worried about this a little bit. Look like some American Postal Service, like, kick that, you son of a bitch. Foreigner, trying to take all of our goods. My pappy worked as a postmaster. Selma, Indiana, 1907. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Should be the bridge pins. Oh yeah, they had plenty of room to swim around when they got kicked by the former postmaster's grandson. You don't know where this guy came from, man. You know what I'm saying? From my friend Jack Kennedy. You see the original labels have been pasted over. He's like, oh, we're going to, with the help of our AliExpress friend. And AliExpress, like, sent it, like, you know what I mean, had a USPS postal tracking code and everything, e-packet. These are really expensive to get. China now, like inflation, man, they're like 20,000 times more expensive they were back in the early. Back in 2015, 2018, the golden year. 2019, the golden years. Oh, look at these. Look how classy they are. Look how small they are. Oh, look at that. Look at that. These are two different sellers, folks. Two different sellers. You know what I'm saying? They both kind of have the same kind of accent. You see that, Bobby G? You're a classy guy, man. You picked out some classy shit for this classy guitar, man. These are gorgeous, gorgeous pins, man. I'm so 1000% impressed by these Chinese parts, man. I really, really love Chinese parts, man. I love you, AliExpress, man. See, if we can get together and do something like this, man, all of our problems be gone, man. We're just not organized, man. We don't give a fuck about ourselves anymore, man. It's a shame. All right, so let's move on with this little build, man. Let's move on, man. And here it is, man. Sort of studied it for a day. It's a very old instrument, man. Very, very old instrument. I sent some pictures of it unboxed to my man, Len, over at Romantic Guitars, and he's pretty much hasn't changed his mind. He's saying Italian. Could be later, could be early. But he says that some work has been done to the fretboard somewhere along the line. At least painting. I concur. You know what I mean? Looks like somebody, you know what I mean, was doing something here. Scratched the shit out of it here. Old, you know, pre-sandpaper days. Looks like this popped off because of the excessive heat, man. The glue sort of just cracked off. Old hide glue or whatever they're using, man. Pretty clean. It's kind of a blessing in disguise. There was a clean break because now we can control any kind of forward bow. You know what I'm saying? Any neck bend, we can sort of shave off a little bit of this and just fix it up perfectly. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, I guess, not that big of a deal. This is old school. You know what I'm saying? The headstock sort of flush with the nut. Look at that, that's old. See how the fretboard actually thickens up as it goes along. You see that, man? What an old instrument, though, man. Now you take a good look at this, man. This is the original lacquer here. You see here, this is a little area here. You can see, I'm gonna get a good look at it, because this phone's not that good. It's been retouched. See that little angle there? Once you get it in good. You see that? How that paint's a little darker? Now we're getting in there. Now the phone understands where I want to talk about. You can see the original lacquer. Looks like there was some kind of plate, maybe, like a little metal plate that was over here. And they put, like, some of these were like screw holes to keep that metal plate on, I think. You know what I mean? Like a decorative kind of thing. And some of these might be screw holes, you know what I mean, for different tuners, maybe. Who knows, man? appears to be pretty old, man. Touch up black paint from at least 100 years ago. Over that fret marker looks like there's a little bit of mother of pearl. Looks like it got broken and just painted over. See that, man? The mother of pearl is peeking out there, man. Peeking out, man. It smells like Italy. You know what I mean? I remember when I was like, I don't know, 18. I had this girlfriend from Andorra, which is a little tiny country between France and Spain. She was like an exchange student over here. She had all these like roommates over there, housemates or whatever they were from Europe. You know what I mean? A couple Italians. Kind of smelled like this guitar on the packaging. It's like a lime laundry detergent smell mixed with Nutella. Hey man, that's the way Italians smell to me, you know, from Italy. Not Italians over here, not our domestic ones. It doesn't smell anything like an Italian restaurant. Lime fabric softener or something, man. This is cracked. See that? Be real slow with this phone. I mean, sometimes I fix that Bondo glue. You can see this is 2 book match pieces. Very old, but you can see like one piece is one side of the. See how this piece is right here? You can see that little piece right here. You know what I'm saying? And these little wigglies right here. And these little wigglies over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very, you know what I mean, old school instrument, man. Cross of the Vienna school and the Italian school, because the Vienna school, this is very teeter-totter. It's like got a big round back kind of, you know what I mean? Whereas the Italian guitars are flat. Even Giuseppe in the National Geographic's playing a real flat guitar. You can go back in time and look at that if you want. This is rounded, you know what I mean? That's like a Germanic, Viennese sort of trait. But it might be, you know, northern Italy, man. A little bit of rot in there. We'll clean that up, man. Clean that up. We're gonna have to do some kind of magic here. Original finish here. You know what I mean? On the side. And the back looks like a old-fashioned shellac, man. No checking. So it's definitely like shellac. It's gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Gorgeous. And you can tell that it's original because they did some kind of touch-up over here. And they glued this many, many moons ago, and they had to scrape off some of that shellac. Shellac was pretty much mixed with like vodka or something like that. You know, I mean, real strong white alcohol. Maybe they used amaretto in Italy. I don't know what the fuck they use. There it is, man. One thing I've been really kind of fascinated with. See in here, there's like a little scribble. You can barely see it, man. Just take a look in there. You see it? Right there. It's like F-E. E-R or L-R-F-E. Ensberger? You know what I mean? It's the only E luthier in all continental Europe I could find for the 19th century. There was a Victor and there were 2 Bernies. You know what I mean? This falls outside of that, man. Who knows who it was, man? Maybe that was who owned it, but I don't know how you can write inside there, man. Maybe it was a long pencil. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm so happy to have this instrument. I'm excited to get to work on it. So let's take a quick look at those tuner pegs that came with it. They seem to be original. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they were doing here. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I think that held something on. It's like some kind of plate. You can see here, see that little thing there? That's very early 19th century neck joint right there. Traditional. You know what I'm saying? It's a traditional neck joint. It's been sort of set up for some kind of plate. I don't know, man. It's an old instrument. Old instrument. Let's take a look at those pegs real quick, man. Alright, so here are the 2 originals, and here are the 2 I got from China. Look at the craftsmanship of the originals. You know what I'm saying? Look like they were painted, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's like a rosewood that was painted ebony, whereas these are real ebony. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the Chinese have a little bit better workmanship, even though they had all those tools and shit.
But these were made 200 years ago. These were made like less than 200 days ago, probably. Another cool thing that I thought was cool, these are very lightweight. Those are kind of a little heavier, denser. Look at that, man. Real mother of pearl inlay on the tops of these guys. Whereas these don't have no mother of pearl inlay here, but they got a mother of pearl inlay there. You know what I'm saying, man? There's a little slight difference in the diameter. I mean, these are, if you take a look here, man. I'll put this way, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is just scientific research. This is original. Goes right where it should be. You know what I'm saying? And then take this new guy here, man. Hey, noob. He goes like a little bit too far, man. See that, man? So what we're gonna have to do is the ones that we knew use the newer ones. We're gonna have to put like a little piece of like masking tape in here, paper tape or something. You know what I'm saying? We'll just leave this kind of thing. You know, we'll put these new ones wherever we put them. You know what I'm saying, man? We're gonna also have to see how this has got a little hole in it, man. We're gonna have to get a pin vise. I believe my brother has a pin vise. Maybe we'll finally get to go over to my brother's special laboratory. Use this little pin vise. Drill these guys out. That's later, man. No, that's much later, man. We don't have time to be messing around that. No time for that, Marty. No time for that now. I don't even know what I'm going to do first, man. Let me think about it. And I'll see you in the laboratory. I'll see you in the laboratory.
So here we are in the laboratory with the true Paisan on the table. Now the first thing you want to do with a real old guitar like this, man, is just diagnose what you got. Make sure you got no like woodworms in it, man. See all the holes, like miscellaneous holes. Make sure they're not woodworm holes. These are not woodworm holes. There are no woodworms in this. I already checked. Just don't want to, you know what I mean? You don't want some kind of, fly box for your collection. Trust me. So we got some unorthodox shit to do to this particular instrument, man. So I'm kind of glad it was decapitated because we're gonna be doing some weird stuff to it. I mean, the neck's pretty good condition for now. Especially out here, man. This area right here is the golden triangle of shit that I gotta do, man. There's all kinds of fucked up shit going on in this area. So we have a guitar here that's got the original finish still on the sides and the back. And you know what I mean? The back of the neck had the fretboard repainted at one point. You know what I mean? Some kind of alteration done to the headstock in some way, looks to be. You know what I mean? And what we want to do is we want to repair this, preserving this original finish here. You know what I mean? And trying to get this back together now. This is a mess because this has sort of been glued. You know what I mean? Uneven, and there's like a little gap here. You know what I'm saying? This is bulging out. But the most sort of jarring thing about this guitar in general, you know what I mean, is that you see this big old rot thing. Now, it looks to me that that's why they stripped all the shellac off the front, because you know what I mean. The front has totally been stripped. It looks like a chemical stripping of some sort. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of see like all the smudge has been gotten into that little slot there where the saddle's supposed to go too, man. There's all kinds of mess going on in this guitar. See this, man? That's original to the wood, man. That's not even a repair, man. But I think they really stripped this to try to address this. Because you can see it's really just put a lot of that shit on, you could tell. And this is just like a rot that came up from like sitting down in water. You know what I mean? It's just sitting in a little pool of water in a basement somewhere in Italy. You know what I'm saying? They all fucked up about 100 years ago. And they tried to fix it. You know what I mean? They stripped off the shellac off here. They, you know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck. We can't get this shit off, man. It's a stain on my good personality, So what is this, man? What is this special schmutz on here, man? There's all kinds of little pockets of schmutz on here, man. You know what I'm saying? This right here is some kind of organic shit going on, the rot, man. So what we're going to do is we're going to lightly take some, some weak-ass bleach. This is like Dollar Tree bleach, you know what I mean? It's kind of older. It's like a half bottle, so it's not real strong. We're just going to sponge it on there. Lightly, you know what I mean? With a magic erase sponge. Especially over here. Just sort of get all these stains off this, you know what I mean? We want to be bare wood, but we don't want to use any more chemicals because shellac's real finicky because we're going to redo this in shellac. Try to match, you know what I mean, the original finish.
Now, bleach is not for everybody, especially on bare wood. This is essentially bare wood that's like 200 years old. So be real sparing, be real careful. But it should take out most of these stains, man. And if I'm wrong and I fuck it up, hey, man, I'm on my time. You know what I mean? I'm fucking up my own fucking shit. I'm shitting my own meal, man. So I'll see you after we've treated it up with that Dollar Tree bleach. You're gonna see some unorthodox shit, man. You luthiers, you real true luthiers out there, you're in for a surprise. Alright, so we're outside. See that bleach really, you know what I mean, got most of it out. Still see it's pretty deep in there in that wood. You want to wipe off with a wet cloth after you do the bleach thing, you know, all the bleach that's real strong. It's gonna, you know what I mean, bleach the shit out of it. As it dries out here in the sun, it'll take more and more out of it. But let's go even further because I can still see it, man. I'm a little crazy, but I can still see it. You know what I mean? I want it to be a little bit less seeable. Got some hydrogen peroxide, man. Old sprayable hydrogen peroxide. Got some real thin rip-off saran wrap. You know what I'm saying? This is like the thinnest you can get. Cheap stuff. That's good because what we want is we want to spray this down and to keep it wet in the noonday sun here in the middle of summertime. You know what I'm saying? For about an hour or two. And those ultraviolet rays will just penetrate this like nothing. And work with that hydrogen peroxide and just get the rest of the shit out, man. Out. Yeah. So, see when we're all souped up, man. Like that, so like so, folks. Darkened up because it's all wet again. But that hydrogen peroxide and that direct sunlight. It's gonna do some magic, folks. It's gonna keep it wet, the saran wrap, you know, from drying up. You guys already see it bubbling up, man. Bubbling up into nothing. See you in a little bit. Alright, so we're sitting out in the sun for a little while. Looks like it's faded quite a bit. Quite a bit. So we'll darken it up probably, you know. That area's a little bit precarious. After we peel the thing off, let it dry in the sun, you know what I mean? For a little while. So we've done that. We've done all that. It's all dry now. But we've been messing with this all day long. You know what I mean? This has been getting wet and not wet. You know what I mean? So let's do a patented Bobby G technique, man. I'll take a scaled down kind of version of it. Takes like some boiling water, pour it into this cup, and just sort of just get it in here, you know what I mean? Just get it in there, you know what I'm saying? See if we can, you know what I mean, take these misshapen wings. See, this is a little bit misshapen and whatever, and as soon as it set it out in the sun for, you know what I mean, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, let it get all soft, and we'll bring it downstairs and we'll clamp it with the tat band. Try to get it, you know what I mean? Trick it back to where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? In a peaceful way. Let's do it up, man. So that's the first part of the clamp, man. Clamp part 1. Not only were we able to get those little 2 flaps back in there, we wetting it, softening it up, but we were able to bring it flat. You know what I'm saying? Flat, because there was like a 1.5 millimeter gap, you know, in between the top and the side by that end block. If you don't recall, if I didn't show that to you, I should have. We have to also clamp it here too. Maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times. We do that in parts, people. So this is clamp part 1. Yeah, see that clamp part 2 when we bring this back in. Alright, so here's clamp part 2. See, we're starting to work on that other part. You know, pushing it in the side. You want to keep it wet. See, we got the other part all resolved. Oh man, all back where it's supposed to be, man. So upward and onward. See you at the 3rd part of the clamping. And here's the 3rd part of the clamp, people. I think we finally got it all. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all totally correct. You see that? Isn't that great? That's great. That's wondrous. Not easy to do, man. Even some of the great luthiers have problems like that. Trying to get that shit, you know what I mean, correct. You having to carve pieces off, and Just a little bit of water, man, bending the wood. It's just been abandoned for, I think this guitar's probably been abandoned for like 150 years. Once you start working on an old abandoned guitar, you know what I'm saying? This thing's been abandoned a very, very, very long time. Let's wait till this is clamped. Take it off, take a look. Take a lurk. Oh, there it is, people. Look at that. You see that? It was totally fucked up. Been sitting in water for like 50 years. You know what I mean? The wood was totally warped, like beyond recognition, man. This is almost impossible feat to do this kind of thing without taking the whole fucking guitar apart, man. I'm a revolutionary about me, geez, man. That's what I am, man. There's just a couple little pieces that we had to sort of, get a little zealous with the sanding at the end, because it was kind of warpy a little bit, from so much water and so much action. This thing is like, please leave me alone. But after we're done painting it and mocking it out, man, nobody will know the difference. Nobody know the difference. Let's talk about this, man. This ugly ass crack here, man. That's pretty much, the game breaker for most people. And you can see here it's got a lot of old ass fucking glue sticking out of it. So we're going to take a little razor blade, and get all that little glue stuff off of our guitar, man. And we're going to take this piece of walnut veneer, and up here where it's real light, we're going to cut just a little tiny strip and just fill in here. You know what I mean? There's a little deficit right here where it's kind of pushed in for about, half an inch maybe, 3/4 of an inch. We'll just, like, what we'll do is we'll just, cut a little tiny bit fatter and we'll sand it in there. Looks like it's about the same type of grain and everything, that's on there. And we'll just go with the grain, Very, very small piece. Right in that crack. We'll tape it on. See when that's all done. Eventually you'll see how it looks, man. Like, I see. I see now. Thank you. And there it is. A little piece of wood glued into that crack. Thick and thin where it needs to be. Piece of wax paper. Underneath it, some nice 3M masking tape so it comes off, doesn't peel off, anything to shellac with it. Trying our best not to, not to mess with this finish. But we want to, do the best on that crack. So we got a real piece of wood in there. We'll let that set until it's dry. You know what I'm saying? See that? See how that piece of wood is in that crack? Cool, man. All we gotta do is get a nice pair of scissors, man. Nice pair of scissors, man. A lot of patience. A lot of patience. See you in a little bit. Alright, so it's dry. Took the tape off. Looks about the way I thought it would look, really. You know what I mean? If I gotta be honest about it. So let's just tape up the sides of that. Because, you know what I mean? It's definitely 3D. You know what I mean? We can definitely feel that, man. We don't want to feel it, man. We just want to know that it's wood, man. So let's sand that down, man. We got to tape this real close. And then we'll sand it with a little tiny mini box. Thumb block. I'll show you when it's all done. Or done. Alright, so we got it all sanded off, man. You know what I'm saying? Did the best we could. Tried not to mess with the lacquer. So let's get in here with some acrylic paints and just sort of mask that out. Let's do one part of the guitar at a time, you know what I mean? Try to focus all our attention onto one thing so we can perfect it, as opposed to doing like 4 or 5 things at once. Right? And there you go, people. See, I kind of try to make it look like it was like a continuation of that stain coming off there. You know what I'm saying? Looks great. Really does, man. Acrylic paints, patience. You know what I mean? A little needle brush. So what are we going to do now, folks? Well, the time has come for this part right here, man. This is like the biggest enemy. The biggest enemy because You know, when it got wet and it got messed up, bled into everything. Just bled into everything. We're gonna try to actually, at this point, take maybe a little bit of a piece of sandpaper, try to get that off, just that little piece right there. Just that little piece. I don't want that. Now, they couldn't even afford real rosewood. You know what I'm saying? They had to use this like fake wood that was like covered in dyes and stuff. So we have the luck of having some rosewood because we recently had this project where we got one of these and we only needed like this part of it, so we cut off these little wings and I got one of these wings, and the wing has like a curve and everything, a flat edge. You know what I'm saying? I can put that right up there and I can cut it to size. And I have a piece of rosewood and it have like the natural curvature. It's like kind of correct in there. You know what I mean? It'll be good, and I just drill out a little hole in the middle of it. What I'm going to do, I got this piece of transparency. Just going to tape it up here, tape it on over there, trace it. You know what I mean? Cut that tracing out, put it on here. Bring it over here to my friend, Mr. Scroll Saw. Sometimes we call him Skrelly. Cut him up, man, and then we drill a little hole in the middle, man, mark everything up correctly. Mark it all up correctly, man. Do. Come along, man. See when we got this piece all cut up. Cut up, you cut up. And there's the piece, man. It fits in here like a little glove, man. Like a little glove. You see that? Even the whole line's up, man. Let's glue that guy in there, man. You got some rosewood finally, man. You're a winner, my Vienna friend. Little 200-year-old friend. Glue that in there. Peacefully. There it goes, man. It'll look much better when it's all oiled up and shellacked out, man. You know, but it's awesome, man. Now let's start pumping glue. Pumping glue and doing little speck cleanups. There's all kinds of little cracks. This one up here. This isn't like too serious. Probably just mask it off after it's totally filled out. That one, you know what I mean? There's a couple over here I showed you earlier. Take the suction cup too. See that one right there? See this one right here? I don't even know if they're serious. We won't attend to them. And I put a piece of masking tape, my daughter did, because I can't reach my fat hand through this little guy. Back here so we don't get anything. Let's start pumping glue into these cracks. The glue's to solidify it, and we'll put some filler in there later. But we want to do a whole bunch of glue in here. So let's get all the glue right in here. Not turn in the holes. We don't want to fill it in. Be real careful. Keep a Q-tip ready. And also I want to try to sand off this terrible paint. I hate that. It's bothered me. It's been bothering me this whole project. Clean up all this mess. See this mess? Try to clean up. Clean up your area a little bit, New York. Alright? See when we're all glued up, man. You know what I'm trying to... See that? It's all glued in. Get rid of that paint too, man. Closed in a little space, man. Let's let this dry a little while. Maybe pump a little bit more glue in there. We'll see you in a little while. So, the glue's almost dried in there. I'm gonna let that dry for a little while, man. Let's do some other stuff, man. Got a tea bag here, a black tea bag from Aldi. Boiling water here, just a little tiny bit of it. We'll dip that in there. We're just gonna darken some places up. You know what I mean? Darken some little places up here and there. Darken some places up. Just treat it a little tiny bit. Some things that have gotten, you know what I mean, out of hand. We want to try to fix that. I'll see you in a minute. There it is, man. See, that's like all evened out. There's no like, you know, I mean, hey, there's a bright patch down here. Hey, there's a dark patch, you know what I'm saying? We try to get it all even. Careful those tea bags, man. They do break open. We did also take a little tiny bit of black acrylic paint. Very, very, you know, very light dilution with water. Try to just get a little bit of gray in there in certain areas. A tiny bit of gray. Brush on. Looks great. So let's give it a nice coating. You know what I mean? All the bare wood anyway. This old 50-year-old Wilbert lemon oil, man. You know what I'm saying? Just to sort of semi-seal it. Some will seal it. Some will seal it, see you later. This is still drying. We're still drying. We got stuff for you coming up. All right. Yes, now it's all darkened up. Now it's looking like a million-year-old guitar. Anyway, let's let it sit overnight. I'll see you outside. I got a little bit of present for you, Phil. Philin. Let's fill you in. Phil McCracken. Alright, so we're outside on a beautiful day. Now, we wanted to seal in all those, deficits and lumps and everything, so we got some Bondo. We filled in all those cracks on the fretboard with Bondo. We, pumped a whole bunch of Bondo into that bridge there. See that? A little bit of Bondo on the side. Everywhere we saw there was some kind of deficit. Or needed some serious Bondo work. We did it. So we're going to let it sit out here, and we'll see you down in the basement in a little bit. Alright, so we're back in. We're still letting this dry. It's been probably like 4 or 5 hours. It's pretty damn hard. Just wanted to be hardest as possibly can be. One last kind of thing I want to attend to. This crack here is totally cracked in, sealed in. I'm going to take a needle brush and try to just disguise him with a little bit of acrylic paint. For some reason he gets under my bonnet, that guy. Don't like him. Don't like him at all. Let's try to disguise him. Did you see it? I don't see it. It's like it's just clean over there now. See what I mean, man? You know what I'm talking about, Fern? So likewise, I sanded this down a little bit. This is where we had a little unfortunate looking side incident. You know what I'm saying? It was like not very, very good looking. It was missing a little bit of wood in there. So let's use that paint that we all prepared. You know what I mean? The right color. Mask this off. I'll see you in a second. Did you see that? A little bit of time and a little bit of acrylic paint. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy, man. So let's let this guy completely dry out. And we'll work on that Bondo and Bonding. See you in a minute. Here we are again. This is nice and dry. This is nice and dry. I put a lot of accelerator on this one so I could harden up that whole thing, because this kind of paint, this old like enamel lacquer, I don't know what it was, sort of like you wet sand it and it turns into turns into dust. You know what I mean? It does. What the hell it is. Likewise this. So this is, you know what I mean? Let's flatten it out. I got a block with a piece of 200 sandpaper, graph bonded to it. So let's flatten it out, man. Flatten it out. See you in a moment. Yes. 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 Let's mask this off and paint it with some lacquer. Lacquer intelligence. Alright, so I got everything masked off. Now it's time. Shake it up. Old-fashioned lacquer. See when we're done. There it is, nice and pretty shiny. Pretty sheeny and shiny. Newspaper peels right off. If you tape it correctly, you won't see any problems. We'll knock that shine off in a little bit. You got your bloomers in there? Yes, it's time to get shellacking, people. Shellacking. Not slacking. Not slacking. Not slacking. We got a paint ghost made up. We want a high fiber cotton sheet with, I have like a couple of McDonald's napkins wrapped around like 3 or 4 paper towel segments. And we got a little bit of a foam brush here so we can get here in the nooks and crannies, because you can't really do well with the paint goes there. We got some vodka, because we get fucked up after this. And we got some shellac. Basically, we're going to thin out that shellac with some vodka, because that's what they used to do in the old days, man. I'm saying maybe like 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, maybe even 3 shellacs to 1 vodka. I'm thinking we want it real thin, but we don't want to ridiculous it. You know what I'm saying? So let's put a coat on there, man. Let's coat her up, Sean. You sucker. She in a shoon, Sonny. Don't be shy. So we're about halfway through the shellacking. Shellacking some fucked up shit, man. It's really difficult to sort of, you know what I mean, comprehend. It's so primordial. Sometimes, you know what I mean, you're just like, what is this stuff, man? What's going on with this stuff? But it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? 200-year-old guitar gets a 200-year-old practice. I'll see you when we're all totally shellacked. Try to do it all one day. See you in a minute. Now with shellac, you know you're done when you start getting this like sort of like hue. You know what I mean? Like sort of like a haze, like a dull haze. You know what I mean? Like that's when you stop. So let's stop. Let's let this dry. 24 hours. Sound good? All right. I'll see you then. 1, 2, 3. And that's a day later. A day later on our journey. It's like hard and real clear. Slack is some strong shit, man. That feels like the side. Got the same kind of tap sound. The shellac is here, man. So we're gonna sit in an armchair and just knock all this shine off. Just using straight up steel wool. This shine too. Some of this shine, not all that shine. You want to get your shine off, son. Shine off your front. See you then when you're all dullard. And there it is. Knock off all the crazy sheen and leave some shine. It's got that beautiful shellac sort of bundle, man. And it marries up so well with the original finish. You know what I'm saying? You can't really see any kind of delineation. You know what I'm saying? This was just painted like a day ago, really, you know. Good. So we're gonna let this set another day, man. Just let it cool out, man. Cool down a little bit, man. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna like clean off the back and the sides. A little bit of old furniture polish because we haven't done anything of that, man. Poor wood, man. Hey, help me, I'm dying over here. We're gonna coat the whole damn thing with some old butcher's bowling alley wax everywhere, man. So we'll wait another day. We'll do that. And I'll see you then. Come here. I'm not gonna hurt you. 1, 2, 3. All right. So it's the next day. Put 2 coats of butcher's wax on it, man. Oh, look how sheeny and shiny it is. Now it's crazy. Especially the old shellac, man. But there's something that's a little like, you know what I mean? Like that finish is amazing. And it is truly gorgeous. And I love it. And it is really hard and protective. And I can see myself in it. But it's not like really for like a 200-year-old guitar, really. I mean, that's for like, you know what I mean, a Washburn that you just bought at Guitar Center. You know what I'm saying? That's like a super sheeny shine. So we're going to take a little bit of turtle wax, paste wax. You know what I mean? Old fashioned. You know what I mean? A little bit of quadruples there. Steel wool. And just apply it with the steel wool. That's what will give it a little bit more of a satiny finish. But not too satiny. Not too satiny. Right? See you in a moment. There it is, folks. You just got to work at it, man. Work at it until it feels like it's the original finish, really. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain because on the camera, everything looks, you know what I mean, beautiful. Especially these new Feingold cameras. You know what I mean? But you want the finish to look, you know what I mean, whole, one piece, you know what I mean? So what you do is you do this little trick that I just told you about, and it's going to dull it out. It's going to be completely dull. It's going to be like satin finish, kind of. And that's going to contrast with the rest of the body, which is, you know what I'm saying, 200-year-old lacquer that's been shined up as good as it could possibly shine. So you're going to come over here and you're going to put the butcher's wax on top of it, because, you know what I mean, this is all butcher's wax. And this was like doled out, you know, turtle wax. And then the butcher's wax, you know, brings it back up to the shine. But you'll see little tiny pockets where you're like, oh, I want to knock that down a little tiny bit. I want to knock. Maybe I'll keep seeing them over the next couple of days. But now it looks like the original finish, sort of. You know what I mean? That's been really super shined up, just like the rest of the body. And this wax will wear off after a couple months of playing. But I might never play this. I might play it like 3 times. Put it away in a corner somewhere so it doesn't get ruined. So that's that. That's the body, man. Let's hold on to this right now. Let's go work on that neck. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Let's get going. And here we are, man. The head above the neck. The head above the neck. Kind of bizarre, man. This proto-ovation kind of headstock, man. You kind of see what I'm saying about that ovation shit, right? Better yet, this kind of looks like a Dan Electro, you know what I mean, Silvertone headstock. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Neptune City, 2 millionth anniversary, man. 2 millionth year anniversary. Hey. So when I first got this instrument, I was thinking to myself all different things, man. Hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then I was thinking about on the back of this headstock, you know, I was going to refinish this, you know what I mean? Make it nice and slick so you couldn't see any of these little, you know what I mean, little holes that were, you know what I'm saying, drilled back here for tuners over the course of the, you know what I mean, 50 million years that have passed since this instrument was abandoned. So I thought about that, man, and I was thinking, like, why was that done, and what's going on with this headstock? I was thinking, well, maybe this headstock originally was one of those upside down snowman headstocks, like, right? And he carved this off here because of the tuners. You know, you couldn't reach the little, you know, that's what I'm thinking with that paint. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of weird shit going on. Anyway, man, you know what I mean? Could be anything. I don't really know, man. There's all kinds of weird stuff on the internet with these, you know what I mean, guitars. Let me turn on, there we go. This is one I saw on the internet. This is probably not from 1810. This fella, you know what I mean, is very proud of this instrument, as he should be. You know what I'm saying? It's got this weird sort of head, and I want to show you. It's got like the same kind of. Someone's not really digging this bright computer, man. Come on, man. Dig into it a little bit. See how it's got that same bridge even as our instrument, man. This thing's like not like, you know what I mean, feeling. You know, it's like after you get the eye drops at the doctor's office. You see, it's got that curve to the back of it. It's got that weird sort of headstock thing going on, man. Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff going on, man. You know what I'm saying? In this era. In this era. You know what I'm saying? So, first thing I want to do, I want to uncover this little dot marker. See that? Let me get a flashlight back on here, man. Now you can see, man. See how there was, you know what I mean, all kinds of paint applied on top of that. I want to see what's underneath that, man. I want to see, man, if there's like a whole dot marker in there. So let's carefully scratch that off. I don't really want to do too much damage to this fretboard. Here's where that scratches began. See that? We're not going to do anything to that. We fixed the other part of that on the body already. We'll leave this one fret as a memory of the scratches, man. Let's see what's underneath here, man, very carefully. Everything else will sort of, you know what I mean? Then we'll do the fret job, right? Right? Let's take a look at it after we scratch it off. Come on. Let's take a look. So, it's like half a piece of mother of pearl. It looks like a cracked. You put some fill in there over the years somewhere, man. Over the years. So, what I want to do, man, is I just want to get all that shit out of there. Let's just get everything carefully out of this hole, man. You know what I'm saying? Very, very carefully. And then we'll just replace it with something, man. Something modern. Something modern. Can you guess what it is? Let's get it out of there, man. Get out of there, old mother of pearl. Your time's up. Alright. So we took a little brad point. We got in there. Very shallow hole there. Very shallow-minded fool. Now this is a big piece of perloid plastic I got from Amazon some time ago. It's got 3M adhesive on the back of it. I've featured it a couple times in my different videos. I cut a little piece off of it, you know what I mean, a while back for a project. I scraped it off, with some steel wool, and then I yellowed it out with some acrylic paints. You can look up Guitkits yellows plastic with acrylic paints. You'll see a video how to do that. See how it's a lot yellower and older looking. Just take an old hole puncher like we've done a whole bunch of times in this little piece. Only need one, you know what I'm saying? We're just going to take the adhesive back off in order to combine that with the little bit of tight bond and set it in there, man. I'll show you when we're all set in there. It's going to be like it's been in there for 155 million years. See you in a moment. Look at that. Look how regal that looks. Looks great. And I took a little bit of furniture marker and sort of touched up a couple of little areas around here too. Don't really want to use any paint on here. One thing I do want to touch up doing, I just saw it, man. I'll show it to you. See that, man? Whoever fixed this up back in the day, man, I left my fingerprint on top of there by accident. I fucked it up, man. It's right where the thumb goes. You can tell. That's somebody who messes with guitars a lot. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Hey, man, you got my fingerprints. You got my fingerprint on there, man. So let's try to get that out. Micro polish it out a little tiny bit and clean it up. See you in a minute. You see that? Pretty much got rid of it. Pretty much got rid of Luigi's little thumbprint, man. Now, initially, like I was beginning to say before, I was going to refinish this neck. You know what I mean? I was going to, you know what I mean, fill this up, filler primer on the back here. You know what I mean? Clean that up. You know, Bondo or whatever. Make it real smooth, real nice. But this thing's got a story to tell, man. Yeah, this is a real historic guitar. Like missing link, if you will. So I kind of wanted to stop here before I, you know what I mean, refret it. Just refret it, you know what I mean, and call it a day, really, on this guy. Just want to show you this real quick. I showed you that page before. That guy had that Stover headstock style peg, you know, 3 and 3 as opposed to 6 on one side. This is about the same age as our guitar. Curiously, if you take a look at it, it's got that lone weirdo marker on the 7th fret, man, just like us, man. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that interesting? And it's got the black enameled headstock. Same kind of deal. Check that out. It's almost the same kind of bridge, man. You know what I mean? If you look at it here, you know what I mean? It's got that same curvature. You know what I mean? That we got with the fretboard extension right on the soundboard, not above it. Like, you know what I mean? Like a Bernie model, man. On this headstock here, you can see this is, you know what I mean, the famous Stover style. This isn't a Stover guitar, but, you know, that was going around. We saw that, the 6-6 just a couple minutes ago. And this is how, you know what I mean, this style, you know what I mean, rocks on the back. You know what I mean, I'm sure you can read all about these Stover style things. But one thing that's curious is this, man. You see that little bump there, man? You see this little bump? It's kind of like similar to this, man. So what if this guy, you know what I mean, if this was added maybe, or maybe it started life that way, I don't know. Who knows, man? Just sort of, you know what I mean, maybe they had some kind of, you know what I mean, 3 and 3. You know what I'm saying? Tuner thing going, a Stover kind of enclosed key thing at one point. But the point is that I want to make about this particular instrument, I believe, you know what I mean, is it initially started as a peg, you know what I mean, and it went to like it went to some kind of tuner on the back, you know what I mean, because the guy didn't like the pegs. Then it went back to pegs, you know what I mean. I have one more little piece of the thing I want to show you real quick, man, and I got the, you know what I mean, the evidence with me. That's a general, you know what I'm saying, headstock for one of these Viennese guitars, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you take a look, you know what I mean? Almost lines up perfectly. You know what I mean? This just has this little thing cut off. You know what I'm saying? So they can, because if you have a tuner coming out here, how are you going to tune it? So it's got this little round part cut off, man. But I mean, dimension wise, you know what I mean? It's almost like an exact fit. So that's that, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a chopper, man. We got a chopper, man. Chopper, 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 price chopper. That's my theory, man. My development theory. So let's get this guy refretted, man. I'll see you on the fretboard. Alright, so just a couple of maintenance issues real quick before we actually begin doing the fret job. First thing I want to do, right here, see, we've lost some lacquer. We've lost some lacquer, man. So I'm just going to take it furniture scratch marker, a little darkening in there, and do a quick shellac run on that. You know what I mean? No need for lacquering. Just a little bit of fooling out. Fooling you out. On your way to fooling you the great way. See that? You can't tell, man, really. If you're back here especially, you know what I mean? And it's half into the crock of your guitar, man. So let's put some butcher's wax all over the place on this guy, man. Front, back, side to side, everywhere except for the neck joint. You know what I'm saying? We don't need nothing on there, man, of course. 2 coats, and then we'll go do the fret job, man. Are you ready? Get set. And go. Alright, so this thing is gleaming. Gleam and shine. Gleam and shine. So I choose to do this here at my computer workstation because there's really good light here. What I did was put all the frets in, you know what I mean, tallest to shortest order. What you do is you just take the bag they're in, right? You dump it into like the corner of a box here and you just shake it to the side. Stand them all up on there, you know what I mean? And you pick out the long one. You'll see the tallest one, you know what I mean? You always pick it out until you got no tallest one, you got one left. Now this was a set of 20, they're 18 frets, so there are going to be 2 left over. And I have 6 that I put away for the body, because you know the body has 6 frets on it as well. And we went through them all, and we, you know, matched them up to the different slots and everything, blah, 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 blah. So some of these are going to need to be hammered in, some are going to need to be glued in, so we're going to do this very, very slowly. But I'll show you when we get to this point right here. We're not going to go any further than that one. You know what I mean? I got my little bottom workstation here. I got a little bunch of books, a couple little tap hammers, man. Tack hammers from the past and the future. And I got, you know what I mean, some tight bond in there, the ones I have to glue in. A little rag, you know what I mean. Old pair of bloomers. That kind of stuff, man. That's the way we roll, man. So let's fret ourselves up, man. Let's get going. We'll see when we're all fretted out. So there it is, folks. All fretted up. Most of them had to be driven in there, man. Like, really, like, fought me every step of the way. So we're going to have to figure out a way to get those into the body. We might have to run a little saw blade through them fret things and just lay them in there. A lot of glue. So we don't want to hammer on that fucking thing, right? No. Well, we'll worry about that when we need to. Let's let this dry. I'll see you in a little bit. And there it is, man. It's the next day. Glue's all dried out. Frets are in there nice and solidly. So it's time to get the round over going because we got a serious overhang, people. Serious, we're hanging over, man. You hung over? Yeah, I'm real hung over, man. A whole bunch of Miller's files here, different strengths and weaknesses. We like the strong ones, we like the weak ones, we like all of them in between. Try to do just the files. Might have to get the Dremel out because it's kind of fucked up, man. So I'll give you your before, and then I'll show you after the round over. So this is before. Take a good look. And I'm going to show you right now, through the magic of YouTuber, after. 1, 2, 3. There we go, people. See that? They're all nice and done. It's all nice and nice for the people, man. Sometimes people don't understand what it's like to have a round over done yet. Just the round over, though, folks. We didn't do anything other than that. We have to still flatten it. I was going to wait till we had the guitar totally reconnected to do a full fret job on it, but then I thought maybe we should, do most of the fret job first, and then when we get the guitar reconnected, we'll finish it up. So let's do that, man. Let's do a full. You know what I'm saying? Flatten the frets, shape them again, and all that stuff, man. See you when we're fully refretted on this neck piece, man. Mm. 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 Look at that long, long neck. You got to be real careful doing an old guitar with these nuts, man. You don't want to fuck that up, man. You know, no He-Man shit. This is the most important tool to have if you're trying to reshape these frets after you put that block over them and get them all even. Make sure they're all even. You know what I mean? After you put the Sharpie on it and you put the sanding block over top of it, and you get a little shine on every little one. Now make sure there's, no pockets of marker still. It's gonna be a straight line of shine. Shape them up, man. You know what I mean? Now, if you're doing a guitar that does not have a rosewood board, where you're taking a piece of steel wool and smearing mineral oil over it while you're, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna have to, after you do the file, do some steel wool on these guys. You're gonna have to have one of these. I made one of these many years ago, and this is it. Many years ago. I like sanded half of it away. You know what I'm saying? A lot of water under that bridge, but they look gorgeous. Everything looks great. You can see that. You know what I'm saying? Butcher's oil, butcher's wax, whatever the fuck it was, man, protected the shit out of that. Because we manhandled the piss out of this, putting these frets on there. And you can see this has definitely been, you know what I mean, has its marks of being repaired over the century. 2 centuries, And they're all still there, man. They're all still dope aesthetical. So now let's just wait for the body, man. You know what I mean? And, we'll work on that a little bit, and then we'll get ready to reconnect, man. Reconnect, man. I'll see you on the flip of the switch. How you been? Remember me? I'm good. I hope you've been well. So here we are, man. We've been sitting here for about a week. We're all shellacked out, man. Now, this is more of like a French polish that we did on it, which is like shellac with oil. You know what I mean? Because we had that lemon oil, right? You know what I mean? Oozing out the guitar, really. When you do shellac and oil together, it's extra shiny. You know what I mean? Even if you do that trick with the steel wool and the paste wax to satin it out, it's still going to pop the shine, especially during the cure time. I'm thinking cure time for shellac, in my own opinion, is probably about 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Full cure. I was reading online, there's a lot of controversy about this, though, man. Some people saying, well, it's a gel finish, man. There is no cure, it's just a dry, man. It's once the alcohol dries, it's dry, man. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? That can be half hour, a day, 48 hours, all different kind of opinions. And then there's people saying, no. Yes, it does dry, half hour, 48 hours, 2 weeks, whatever, you know what I mean? But it's definitely got a cure, too. Some people are saying, the cure is like a week. Some people saying the cure is like 2 months. People are saying all kinds of crazy things, man. You know what I mean? All over the board. And I read quite a while on all these woodworking sites, just, what I mean, trying to understand what people are saying about my man shellac. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like discordant opinions about it, man. Now, I'm going to stick with shellac cures in about 2 weeks completely. You know what I mean? I think maybe about a month. But you can handle it and you can sort of sand it the day after. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think you should really mess with it. You know what I mean? Like in this case, putting these frets in for at least a week. Because you're going to, I put my thumb on here after 4 days somewhere on here. And I left a bad smudge. I think it's over there. You know what I'm saying? I had to like sand it out and all kinds of stuff, man. It's a pain in the ass. Now, if you do go through the shellac, you know what I mean, and you're not, especially if you already waxed it, you're not gonna want to just put shellac right on top. You have to re-shellac the whole thing, or you can get a little tiny bit of true oil, do a real quick run. That sometimes works, man, but not too much. Not too much true oil. Then you're gonna have to, do a lot of blending with the true oil. True oil doesn't sand as quick as shellac. You know what I mean? It's a little bit harder. Just telling you, man, I want to let you know, but you can go over real quick if you get a quick run through on the shellac. Some people like to run through. I could run through this a couple times. It's like a quicker wear. It'll wear quicker. I don't want it to wear quick. I want it to stay. I spent a lot of time, so I'm happy where I am. You know what I mean? This is what you expect. I'm content. So after doing this guy over here, it was bloody murder getting them frets in there. You know what I mean? And hammering and banging and shit. That's not something we can do on the body. Right? That's not something we can do on the body. So what we want to do here, I got some very, very low-tech Post-it notes that I've posted the shit out of, you know what I mean? So they just have barely enough stick on. I'm going to put them like right around the edges here. I got a little broken off like coping saw blade. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to run it through them and widen them guys up and until the fret, you know what I mean, be able to comfortably just sit in there, you know what I mean? And then we'll flatten the frets and everything. But I'll show you that, you know what I mean, whole process after we widen these guys out. So let's widen them up. Without further ado, let's be real careful with the body, not resting our thumbs or hands on it, and just be mindful of everything. This is one thing we're going to have to do. Then we're going to have to sink the old bridge saddle. You know what I'm saying? That might be a pain in the ass too. So, let's get to it. See you in a moment. So we got to widen out without too much incident. Got the frets there. Type on ready to glue them in. Got a little board here on the floor. This is of our own device. Got a little slot cut in it. We're just going to take a hammer and just sort of hammer them frets flat. The board pressed against it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, people? And we'll glue it right in there. See when we're all fretted out. Boy, am I glad that's over with. Done though. No damage done to our beautiful instrument. Let's let it set. I don't know, about a day. You know what I mean? We'll come back and we'll do a little bit of finishing work on it. Finishing work on it, shunnets. Alright, so it's the next day. Always want to let it dry, you know what I mean? The glue, especially in this case, is really what's holding these guys in. You know what I mean? We didn't do too much hammering. Try to keep it light, cousin. So we're going to give this like a mini fret job and roundo and everything. It's going to be real tedious. Real task mastery. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's do that right near. Right near, my friends. The hour's near. Look at that, man. Don't they look nurse? And the body's still in great condition. I actually noticed this. See, that's from the original guy or somebody, man. It's not from me. I don't know if those are marks where the frets have to be, or just where he fucked something up. You know what I mean? Doing a fret job on it. Wasn't for me though. What thing you want to do, man, is you want to get some hard plastic off of a toy or a package or something like that. You've seen these. You just sort of tape it, you know what I'm saying, over this inside the sound hole. You know what I'm saying? See all that scraping from doing that round over? That could have been on our getter. No. So we got two of them over there, man. We're very, very, very careful. Ginger is the word, man. Not Marianne. Marianne was rough. So let's talk about saddle, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Now, I tried my best to clear this guy out when I first got the guitar, using some X-Acto knives and, you know what I mean, some razor blades, things like that. And I tried to keep it clean throughout the whole process. I ran one of these little crafter chisels, you know what I mean, woodworking chisels, you know what I mean, down there. See if it was wide enough, thick enough. This is the straightest fret I have in the drawer, longest, straightest fret. You know what I mean, a lot of them have like a pre-curve. Some of them don't. This one don't. That's what we're looking for. One that don't, just try to slide it in there. I was thinking of doing this a little later. I'm still leery of touching this guitar at all. You know, manhandling this thing. I really don't want to mess up that furnish. A beautiful furnish, man. Look at that. Shellac master, man. So let's try to gingerly ease that little saddle into this 200-year-old slot. Come on, Granny. Open them up. Let's get it in there. This old cucumber, known in Italy as a pepiner. A delicate operation, people. We got it in there, though. It was a pain in the ass. 5-inch U-clamp holding the one end down. Just doesn't like to stay down. I don't know. I guess there is some kind of curvature to the top of this guitar. It's not straight. It's curved, man. So let's let this just chill. 10 hours. About maybe a little bit more. I'll see you when we're unclamped. And there it is, folks. And it's evenly and flatly seated against that line of the bridge. You know what I'm saying, man? So perfect. how tall these braces are in there, man. Braces are like hugely tall inside this guitar, man. Like hugely tall. It's unusual, man. And unusual noticed that while I was clamping her. So now it's time to get serious about joining this guy back up. You know, reuniting the fam. These both have an incredible amount of shit. You know, all this hide glue in there. Pasted in there. Kind of shit. On both sides. And this guy, he's got a little crack. A little crack. See that crack there? I want to attend to him once we get all this glue off. See, I don't like him. So we're going to very gingerly take his glue off and very gingerly take that glue off there. I'll get a couple little, you know what I'm saying, of those chisels. I actually got a nice Japanese set somewhere. I'll get them out. Just try to chisel that out. I don't really want to change this pocket because it seems to have a pretty straight neck. You know what I'm saying? Old folks, new folks, young folks, all the folks, old folks back at home. Let's get that all cleaned out. I already mocked it up and put it in there. It almost fits perfectly, but this part just won't, you know what I mean? It won't butt up against here. You know what I mean? It's like a little bit. So we got to get it all cleaned up. Clean the lines, man. See, once we get it all cleaned up, man, all that hide glue. Try to save the hide glue just on a piece of paper. So, like, in the future when there's, like, you know what I mean? Do it at home, carbon dating testing system. Accurate within 1 year's time. You know what I mean? We'll just take that glue out. We'll test it, man. See how old this guitar really is with the exact year, man. Always thinking about the future, Marty. Always thinking about it. What? You see that? We sealed it up, man. We pumped it all full of glue. And while the glue was wet, we kind of sanded it. You know what I mean? Pushed like sawdust into that hole, man. That's the trick, man. That's the trick of the trade. So it's all good, man. We mocked it up again. It looks beautiful. Let's glue it, man. Figure out a way to clamp it. See when we're all glued and clamped, man. So there it is, folks. We got a perfect red neck clamp going. 10-pound weight. Pulling the neck forward. Pipe clamp going around the back. Everything is level. You see this little crack. See that little, there's a little piece that like stuck out. See that, man? It's totally clamped correctly. This is not for the faint of heart, people. It's seriously like you knock into this, bro. You walk into this. You do this wrong. The thing's all going down and getting smashed in the fucking concrete floor, bro. End of story. You know what I mean? Not for the faint of heart, people. See that, man? Skeeting on the line, Bobby G. Skeeting on the line. Let's let this precariously set like 10 hours. Oh no, 10 hours! Don't walk near it. Don't even think about it. Ever. And here we are, folks. It's the next day. That was like one of the most picture-perfect clamps of all time, man. I actually unclamped it last night before I went to bed and set it like this for about 2 hours. And I set it upright for about 2 hours. And I set it back like this. I didn't want to develop a four-bow with that weird thing on it. You know what I mean? I just wanted it to, you know what I mean, set where it needed to set. And it was a perfect clamp. This is totally level, even. You know what I'm saying? That's the original fret slot. You know what I'm saying? You can see this little peninsula is back where he belongs, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything is perfect. And the paint lines on the ice cream cone line up perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Action's still great. That little piece of wood is missing from in there that I was telling you about. That's easily resolved, folks. Easily soon to be resolved. The first thing I kind of want to do, now that we're joined together, oh, my good friend, is I want to get a little tiny piece of sandpaper on a block and just sort of, you know what I mean, smooth this out a little bit, man. Smooth this little joint out. Because, I mean, there was a lot of, I kind of think that this guitar had been broken for a long time. You know what I mean? Like the neck was broken off because that little peninsula piece, that little scar, you can see that on the picture on eBay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know, 100 years ago, somebody reset the neck. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of barbaric, brutal way. There's all kinds of tooling marks over this guitar, man. It's definitely been maintained in somebody's own sort of own kind of mainframe. It's a bizarre sort of, you know what I mean? One of the only instruments with that upside down snowman headstock, originally, I guess, that didn't have a hole here. Most of them have like a hole drilled out there so you can attach a piece of string. You know what I mean? The string will go over here and attach to this. And maybe this guy's like, he's like, fuck that. I don't use no strap. I hold the guitar like a man with my shirt open. I take out the strap button too. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking, man. So the first thing we want to do is we just kind of want to smooth this out a little bit. Because you remember we smoothed these out kind of a little bit. I got the flash on it, but if you're back here, man, you can't really see those scratches that bad over here anymore at all. But you can still see these, you know what I'm saying? That's where it really started. You know what I mean? Right around here. So what I want to do is sand that off on a little tiny block. You know what I mean? Get that smooth. And I'll see you at that juncture, man. I'll see you then at that juncture. Peace be with you. So we got it all sanded out. Anytime I'm doing sanding, I like to make sure I've got the hole plugged here. I'm not going to vacuum this body out. I want to keep all of its evidence of its journey, but I don't want to add any, shit to it. So I got to keep your hole plugged there, Bessie. So anyway, let's talk about this a little bit more. It's still not as flat as we'd like it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully give it some Bondo around here, down here where those bigger scratches are. We don't want to get any Bondo in her slot, though. No Bondo in your slot. See how the slot went right through, though? And that little piece that was disconnected? I mean, that was a perfect match. A perfect glue, man. So let's tape off here, and be very careful and just Bondo a little bit out in the garage because it's raining a little tiny bit today. I'll see you there. Just a tiny bit of Bondo there. Just enough to whet the whistle. Whet the whistle, William. Let's let this sit. I'll see you when it's all dried out. You dry old husk. Yes, now it's super smooth. Let's clean it up a bit and give it a pass with 600 sandpaper on the mini block, man. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of smoothing it out. Even for you. So there it is. Look at that. We got it all sanded down. We got it masked off. Went around the perimeters of both frets with a black furniture marker because we don't want to go anywhere near those, you know what I mean, frets or potential fret area. You know what I'm saying? What we're going to do is I'm going to spray this spray lacquer into this baby food jar and very carefully apply it to the fret area with that foam brush. And after that's accomplished, I'll see you then. And that is. We'll lack it out. Not lackluster, but lackluster. So let's let that dry. You always want to take all that masking off, all the, you know what I mean, tape and everything. Make sure, A, it's perfect, and B, you don't want that tape to mess up any of the shellac. Right? Let's let this dry, strong and hard, and I'll see you then at that pernt. Right? Don't pernt at me. Pernt at him. Alright. So after it was dry, buffed it out with a little bit of steel wool. You know what I mean? A little bit of light wet sanding. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it look like everybody else. You know what I mean? Put some butcher's wax on it, a couple coats. Make sure it look nice for the people. It's still kind of curing out. So let's do something else real quick. Now, I've made the decision, of course, on this guitar to not refinish the headstock. Now, at times I'm like, why didn't I just even restore the, you know what I mean, the snowman shape? I could have done it, you know what I mean? It would have been great. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, every picture tells a story, but the story is kind of fucked up looking. I don't mind, but structurally I want it to be solid. And some of these nails or whatever he affixed these tuners onto it, and I say he because, you know, a female would have done a lot better job. You know what I mean? It might have structurally fucked up the wood a little bit, you know, especially the ones that went all the way through. And that doesn't even count. You know what I mean? Some of these back here that are like really like deep into the wood. You know, he's had a couple different kinds of tuners on here. One I believe was like a Stouffer set. You know what I mean?
covered stover set, and then I think he, you know what I mean, had a couple other little contraptions, you know what I mean, that just didn't work out. He went back to the pegs. So that's the way it looks. But every one of these holes, let's pump a whole bunch of tight bond in, get that little, you know what I mean, suction cup in there as much as we can. Wipe it off, but you know what I mean? We want to just make it structurally solid and sound and strong. You know what I'm saying? Do that in there, because where the end is near, we want that to be real dry when we finally string her up. And that's my cream pie shot from after when I was done with my job. I got my cream in there all over hole. A heavy load. The good thing about working that suction cup is you can just keep on smooshing it in, keep it on the, you know, the bell of the suction cup, and just get slopping it in there, wiping it off, slopping it in and wiping it off. I wiped it off and I put it back up in there. This particular hole had a lot of drama going on. You can see here, I had to plug it with another piece of wood. This hole went all the way through to the middle there. You can see it coming out. And this hole right here came out on this side right here. That one I just filled with I filled it with a little bit of crazy glue, and I sprinkled a little bit of bacon, you know, sort of on top of it. It got real hard because I just couldn't get the wood in there correctly. And I, you know what I mean, cleaned it up a little bit. I stuck the little peg in there. It fits like a glove still, so we're good, man. So we're just gonna let these dry out. They're already drying since I wanted to get my camera, which is a good thing. Let that happen, man. We'll let that happen, and I'll see you later. So it's the next day. All that glue's dried up. Is it more structurally sound? I don't know. At least for peace of mind it is. You know what I'm saying? I think it is. Should be. So now the paint's all dried here, and it's a little bit more workable. You know what I'm saying? A little bit less skittish. We can get this fret in there, man. Now, these frets are probably, you know what I mean, I'd say about a third deeper than the original frets that were on this guitar. You know what I'm saying? So for here, you know what I mean, we actually banged it into the wood. You know what I'm saying? You remember that. We banged it in the wood. We put a little bit of glue in there for good luck, right? And for here, of course, you know, we took a hacksaw and we deepened it out because we didn't want to bang on anything. So we could get, you know what I mean, that whole big tail in there. You know, where all that sawdust combined with the tight bond, and it left us with nice hard, you know, just about as, you know, structurally sound as that. And we don't want to put a hacksaw in here. We don't want to bang anything in there, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? Obviously, because, you know why we got to cause it. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit off the back of this guy. You know, I'm going to straighten him out, right? Take the Dremel, take about, you know what I mean, a third off his ass, maybe a half. So it's just lays flat in there. We'll just get all kinds of tight bond river in there. So I'll show you once we've taken off what we got to take off, right? And then I'll show you what's on there. All right, let me take you to the barber shop and get you a haircut. Hey, you want a haircut, Goldie? So there's our little fret with no meat on him, man. He's a baldy. He's got no backbone. We're gonna put a whole bunch of tight bond into that crack. And we're gonna put him down there nice, just like Bubba told me. I'll show you after that. There it is, people. There it is. Hey, everybody. I'm new to the world. I hope I get to play a note or two. Let that set for about a day. One day. All right, folks. So it's the next morning. This guy is definitely dry. Let's give him his own little fret job, you know what I mean? Make sure he's the same height. The same length. We'll see in a bit. That's great. Now, I took some lens cleaning paper. This pack actually Dr. Patillo gave me over 20 years ago. And I sort of buffed out a couple little, you know what I mean, imperfections on the body first with the cleaning papers. And then I took them and I cleaned off the frets with it, you know what I mean? And they really buffed it up and got a nice little extra
shine going. This stuff is miracle stuff. When Dr. Patillo introduced me to it, not only was I into photography big and, you know what I mean, guitars and everything, I was like, these are a godsend, these things. You can clean your glasses with them too. You can do whatever you want, man. They're fantastic. And they'll shine up anything, man. So let's get working on this last piece of the puzzle, man. There's this little piece of wood that's like sort of absent from right there. You know what I'm saying? It's no big, man. It's no big. Got a piece of popsicle stick. We're just gonna, you know what I mean, sand it out until it's exactly that size with the Dremel. It's got to sort of thin out a little bit. If you look at this, it's sort of like has like a, you know what I mean? You see how it goes down? The fattest part of the popsicle stick was about that size on this side. So we're going to have to thin it out to this size and just cut it down to the right size and paint it up and glue it in there. Right? That's all it takes, man. A little bit of work, man. A little bit of herbal grease, man. So we'll see when that's all done, man. When that piece is all ready to glue in. Right? Popsicle stick, let's get shaving. Let's get you shaving down. So there it is, a little tiny guy. Let's, you know, color in the edges with furniture marker. Coat it up with Type Bond and slide it in there. You know what I'm saying? Say it. You know what I'm saying. Peace. So it's all glued in there. So I'll let that dry. We'll see you on the flip side. Alright, it's all dry. Now that looks ancient. You know what I'm saying? Especially from back here. No Chinese popsicle stick here. Alright, folks, so let's get it back out to the slab and talk some fine-tuning points. Mama, what's this hole in my bottom? What does that do? Don't put your finger in there. Listen to me. Beginning of the build, we talked about buying all these Chinese components. You know, real cheap. We're all proud of it. I paid $20 total. I got everything I needed. And as you know, you put these things together, you start getting a little bit more affection and affinity for it. So now's the time to put this guy in. And I looked at it and I was like, this is kind of a little bit too, seems to me just to be a little too ritzy for this guitar. And this doesn't seem to be the right component for this instrument. This guitar looks like it would have something like a flat pin on it. You know what I mean? Like a common man's flat pin. Maybe, you know what I mean, a little bit of embellishment, but nothing too fancy. Yeah, this is like real fancy man's pants. You know what I mean? So I went on eBay and I saw what kind of end pins are there, you know what I mean, in the world, yeah, you know what I mean? And it seems like this is like the only wooden end pin there is. You know, this is the most common one, along with those, you know, pegs we got too. This is the Parisian eye or something like that. Man. That's the motif, man. Very, very well duplicated. They're all over the place. It's the Chinese part. And I was like, you know, I mean, that's not what I'm all about, man. What else is there? I looked all through eBay. There's not really too much out there. Old stock, antique wooden end pins from Europe. You know, I looked over everything. You know what I mean? I spent a good 20 minutes. There's a couple that were kind of iffy looking. You know what I mean? I don't know what size they were. The pictures were real bad. I was like, this is not good. You know what I mean? This end pin is just not what I want. You know what I mean? What am I have to do? Like, we suffer. You know what I'm saying? So I want a reverb. Same kind of thing, man. There's no real good old stock end pins, you know? Then I sort of just went into Google. And I was like, maybe I can pick up something on Google. Because if I get like a local, you know, mom and pop website, I usually, if it's domestic US, I'll usually give it a shot. You know what I mean? You never know, you know what I mean? As long as the shipping's reasonable. So I put in there, you know, 19th century wooden end pin, European, old world style, viola, violin, you know, classical, whatever. I put a million words into Google, you know. It's gonna pick something up, you know. And the Google shopping came up, you know, a whole bunch of these cool looking end pins. I was like, what? It said Dove Music. I was like, Dove Music, man. I've never heard of Dove Music before. Yeah, what the hell's that? D-O-V. Sound like an Israeli site, you know. Once you see Dove, you know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you know, I went on there and there must have been like 7 pages of old stock, you know, 100-year-old European end pins from all over the place, from Mircourt, from Cremona, from Germany, from all over the old world. I was like, this is incredible. And they're all old as hell. And you could tell they're all photographed like, in a good manner, and they were all pretty cheap. You know what I mean? Like even the nicest, ones were like only like $5-6, and the oldest one, And all the boxwood ones were like $1. And I love boxwood. I got a special affinity for boxwood. People, in this country think about boxwood as that's the hedge, the evergreen hedge tree. It doesn't look like an evergreen, you know what I mean? It's got like, those real waxy looking leaves. And there's, you know what I mean? They're everywhere, as hedges in this country. My mom's house had, I guess, hedges that were like 80, 90 years old at the time I was growing up. They'd grown up to be full trees. And I remember cutting one of them down 40 years ago with my brother. It was hard as hell to cut one of them. It got real big, you know what I'm saying, when you let them go, you know what I mean? It got like, you know what I'm saying? Respectable tree size, a strong ass piece of wood. So Herman Hauser actually, I believe, used boxwood components on a lot of his instruments, little whatever knobs and whatever you could use, I guess, on boxwood. To be end pins, I guess. I don't know what else. Bridge pieces, I think. Anyway, so I ordered a couple boxwood ones. Whatever, I saw shipping was like $5, and you order as many as you want. It's just great, what I mean? So it came at like $8 in tax. It was under $10. It was like a Friday that I place order. Like Saturday night, I was kind of checking a mailbox, what I mean? In my mailbox the next day was a package from Pennsylvania, from Dove Music, man. And inside that package was this, man. I was like, wow, I got excited and I opened it up, I mean? I was like, wow. And it had like all my little end pins were all there, and I mean, he had hundreds of them, so I mean, to be able to find them that quickly and get them to me that quickly and that cheaply, I was just overjoyed. And this is exactly this is one I got actually for show, man. That's not really one I wanted to get to. I just loved it so much for $1. I was like, I'll find something to put that on. But these two, man, one of these looks just like, if I painted that black, you know what I'm saying? That would be absolutely perfect. I was thinking this guy because he's kind of small. I mean, I didn't know what size to get, so I got, I'm gonna have to shave him down. I'm gonna put a little black lacquer on there. And this is the bigger one because I know, they had really, really, really big ones back in the day. I got a guitar from 1850 that's completely original that I think we did together, the meter quarter guitar from around 1850. So we'll take a look at that, which one ever's, size-wise, we'll use that one. We'll shave it down. We'll put it in a hole. So I want to know, how did this guy get such like a great collection of, like, you know what I'm saying, all these new old stock, 100-year-old European end pins, man. And he has a market corner. So I read about me. I went back to his website, after they came so quickly. I was like, who the fuck is this? My saying, golly, my dreams, His name's Dov Schmidt. He's like a first-generation Israeli. He was a viola and violin virtuoso, joined all kinds of ensembles and orchestras, toured around the old world. And along his journey, I guess the 60s, he became fascinated with violin restoration, collection of, historic violins, and components and parts in every major city he'd stop in the old world, Rome, you know what I mean, Mirecourt, and all that area, he would comb for all the aging luthiers, the old world luthiers, and try to get all their parts, or at least the connection to their parts, and they made a lot of connects, and he amassed a huge collection of parts over the past 60, 70 years, and he hit the jackpot when he visited the Stradivarius Museum in Cremona. And he made the acquaintance of Don Francesco Bisolati, who was one of the, Renaissance men. He himself, 60 years before my man Dov Schmidt did it, he went all around the old world too, trying to get all the original parts. And he became the curator of the Stradivari Museum. He restored Stradivari's tools and his violin molds, and he was like the man. And he amassed a huge amount of parts. He was actually trained in Milan by two of the old world restoration luthiers in fine violin restoration and such. So he got a whole shitload of parts himself. And my man Dov Schmidt hit the jackpot by making the acquaintance of the late great Francesco Bisolati, who also was not only like a restoration guy, but he was a luthier that built his own original instruments too. True old world guys. I was like, I wonder if this guy has better pegs, what I'm saying, better headboard pegs for this instrument, because the ones I got, that Parisian eye motif, man, what I'm saying, they're just as common, and Yeah, so he had like 6 or 7 pages of those two. You know what I mean? I ordered them, you know, the next day. You know what I'm saying? There they are, people. There they are. So let's first, before we get into the pegs, man, let's put them aside for now. Let's get this guy, you know what I mean, sized up against the old mirror chord, see which one we're going to proceed with, and proceed with them, right? Next in the proceedings, sorry to talk so much, people. Sorry. Alright, so here we are with my mirror chord guitar. I'm not too worried about, you know, having wasted that $10 on the set of pins from AliExpress. You know, since I started this project, I pretty much sold like almost $230 worth of stuff on eBay. You know, I pretty much bought off AliExpress at a profit, so I'm not worried about wasting that money, man. Even though I should be. So this guy right here, my mirror chord guitar, probably about 20 years younger than this guitar. But the cool thing is it's all original, and it's got the same kind of styling where the two side walls are brought together with the little piece in the middle there. You see that? You see it? It's got all the original. I think only 2 of these pins were replaced. Everything else is totally original. And one of the pins was replaced because I broke it. Just because I'm stupid. I just want to show you, speaking of original frets, since these are the original frets, these are the frets that, you know what I mean, that I got for our guy. You know what I mean? They're the exact same size. Same size. Anyway, they're the same size, man. Believe me, you don't have to believe me. So let's take a look at this guy, man. Let's take a look at him, man. So that's a little bit more of a fancy guitar. So he's got a fancier end pin. Just look on judged on size, man. So this guy looks to be a little bit smaller, actually. He's a little bit smaller than that one, man. Let's take a look at this guy. Ooh, that's a perfect fit. That's a perfect fit. Size-wise, anyway. You know what I'm saying? This guy, the little guy, is just a little too little, I think. And I want something kind of big and obtrusive and crazy, too. Let's take a look from up top, just so we get a accurate judge. That's about the right size. That's about the right size. You see, this guy a little bit too small. A little bit too small, so we'll put you away in the drawer, my little boxwood friend. So this guy, what are we going to do? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is cut off a little bit of this, because this is a huge. That goes all the way through my colon, into my large intestine. You want me to cut off a little bit of that? You know what I'm saying? Now we're going to put what remains into this big old crayon sharpener. Right? This thing's really helped me in many ways over the years. And then, you know what I mean, we'll see after it's almost about ready, and we'll start working on the finish on it. We want to cut it to size first, because once after we finish it, we don't want to mess around with it too much. You know what I'm saying? So, let's shave it up, cut it up, do all our stuff to it. So it'll fit into this little tiny hole. You know what I mean? Little guy. See that? Fat guy in a little coat. Let's do it up, people. Let's cut it and sharpen it up like a pencil. Peace. He looks like he's sick.
Yeah, he looks like he's ill. Come again.
Anyway, man, once you get to that top, you know what I mean, we have to take a lot of meat off this guy. This wood carving tool really helped us. This is not from the Dollar Tree set. This is actually from some kind of Sansu set. I don't know. It was razor sharp. I got it at the flea market, man, a while back. Anyway, so it fits in there. You know what I'm saying? Gatekeeper, I'm the keymaster. You know what I mean? With a little push in there. I don't want to push it yet. You know what I'm saying? Push it real good. So what I want to do is I want to get in the middle part. See this middle part? Like they couldn't even get the finish in really 100 years ago. So I want to just sort of push a little bit more deeper color in there. You know what I mean? And then we're going to just paint it black, man. I see and plug and I want it painted black. Alright, so we got a little color in the middle there. A little bit of color in the middle there. Get him a little bit of color everywhere now. You see him rolling in on us? Rolling in on us. Little black lacquer. Let's do it up, people. See you in a second. And there it is. Let's let it dry, shall we? Looks good. Looks real good. 2 coats of lacquer. Let it sit out in the sun. I don't know. About an hour. You know. Brought it down here. Let it sit. Let it cool out. About 9 hours. Came down here. Gave it a little bit of steel wool. Wet sand in the 600. Roughed it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Gave a little bit of butcher's wax. Tapped it in there with some type bind. Doesn't really look that good in the camera in person though. It looks like $1,000,000. Just like that Manuel Noriega on the CNN, he was one ugly son of a bitch. But when you have him in person, and you're pistol whipping the motherfucker and your wife beater in your secret bunker at 4 a.m., motherfucker could have been Fred Astaire. Tell you, man, George Bush Sr., he was like the director of the CIA during the height of the Cold War, man. You know what I mean? Motherfucker make Vladimir Putin look like, you know what I'm saying? Like Mr. Rogers. That's how they used to call me. Here comes Mr. Rogers. And then George W.H.W. Bush would come in there with his pistol, take off his nice shirt, get down to the skivvies and whip the fuck out of you with the back of a butt end of a Beretta 44 Magnum. You like that, motherfucker? Tell me the location of the documents. Tell me the location of the documents, bitch. You like that? Put some gasoline into his eye. We're getting close to the end here, folks. I promise you. So this is part 2 of the Dove Music special extravaganza here on the Restoration Hour. Now, the set of, pegs that I had that I bought from AliExpress, I bought them before I even had the guitar in hand. And they're actually pretty nice. The seller was a great guy in China. He was real good, you know what I mean? He promised me a good product. These are very, very nice. They're very common now, you know what I'm saying? And they just don't match, you know what I mean? They're different shape, you know what I'm saying? They're different, you know what I mean? This one's got like a little embellishment on here, whereas this has an embellishment up on this side. You know what I'm saying? They just sort of clash with the whole, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, you know what I mean? I got no problem with clashing a little bit, but you know what I mean? Once you work real hard on these things, you know what I mean? You want to have something more cohesive. So I went through Dove's website, and he had, like I said, like 4 or 5 pages of pegs for viola too, man. He had all kinds of stuff. These are Miracle style right here in this bag. Now, according to the photograph, they're very, very, very similar, man. They're very, very, very similar. See that, man? To the originals. Do you see that? I want you to internalize it. I want you to realize that although maybe 120 years passed between making these pegs, you know what I mean, they're pretty darn similar, you know what I'm saying? Pretty good. So I mean, these are not going to stick out like a sore thumb, you know what I'm saying, with the originals. You know what I'm saying? They're sort of going to like all meld together like a big, like a big family, like a big peghead family. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like, you know what I'm saying, some kind of strange conglomeration like a TV family. This is like a real family. So, the only ones of these pegs on the table right now that have holes in them are the originals. None of these other ones are holier than thou. We gotta fix that up, man. So let's go over to my brother's, man. I've been talking about going over there for many, many, moons, different projects we never do. You know what I mean? Let's cut these little holes with his tools, man. And maybe we'll do something special. Fuck it, right? See you in a second. So I'm here in my brother in his workshop, and he's put together a special little rig here so he can drill holes for our strings and our pegs. You see that? All drilled out. All drilled out like it should be, man. So I told you I had a special a special surprise for you while I'm here. So let me show it to you, man. Alright, folks, now the special surprise. I have one of the originals. I have one of the new ones. You see that? Now, the original has that beautiful mother of pearl inlay. Now, I'm at my brother's house, and he's got these nice tools and everything. I showed you those tools. He's waiting patiently for us to finish talking about it on videotape about what we're about to do. You see this guy creeping up in the corner here? Oh, that's a 532 Brad Point bit. It's the same exact hole size. You know what I mean? It's this old piece. You see that? We're gonna just knock a little tiny bit out of here, man. Knock a little bit out of there, man. So we can sink a little piece of our own shell inside here and we can all be happy. So let's do that right now. Thank you. See that, man? We're all drilled out. Let's go back home. Let's go back home and think about how unworthy our tools are. Alright, so let's put those inlays in here then. Let's make them up, man. Let's do this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little piece we have, try to get them all out of there. Take this piece of masking tape and just put it over top of that. Take this very extra fine Sharpie. Find the correct Fueco. Right? What was this? This is it. This one right here. 5/32, right? Trace it on there as good as we can on top of the masking tape on top there. Cut it out as nice as we can. Put it in there after we give it a little bit of sanding. A little bit of sanding, block sanding. Nice for the people. Glue it in with some tat bond. I'll show you when they're done. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can fill your hole. Fill your hole. So here we are. Can you guess which two are the originals? Can you? Will you give it a shot at least? No? What? Well, I'll show you. Just so you know. You see that? Do you see it? The two top ones are the originals, man. Yes, people. Looks great. Looks nice. Looks like it's going to work like a charm. I don't know. Maybe it won't. I think we're pretty much done though, right? I mean, I can't think of anything else to do with this fucking beautiful guitar. Let's put some strings on there. Let's talk about strings. Now, I thought good and hard about what kind of strings am I going to put on this guitar. You know what I'm saying? Should we put a set of, you know what I mean, all guts on here? You know what I'm saying? Like the originals. You know what I mean? Aquila makes a set for like $40 of like half guts. Half silk and steels, you know? Silk and steel on the basses. Gut trebles. You know what I mean? $40. You know what I'm saying? It's like 3 guitars at the swap meet. 3 nice guitars, you know? I've always liked Ernie Ball strings on the classical guitars. Either the Labella folk singer, you know what I mean, because they're ball end. Or they have those, I guess, Ernesto Palos, which are also ball end. And they're the silvered ones, you know what I mean? And they have these Earthwoods, which I've never tried before on one of these guys. Ball ends, very, very low tension. You know what I'm saying? Very, very low tension. And they got the clear nylons, which I love clear nylon. That's one thing that I love to put on this guitar because this is an early guy, so it should have gorgeous trebles. And the black nylons just don't get the trebles, you know what I mean? And it's got the 80-20. And the golds. 80-20s, man. The bronzes. You know what I'm saying? A bronze is what an acoustic guitar should sound like in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Even though the silvered ones is what a classical guitar sounds like to many people. You know what I'm saying? I want to present this guitar like, you know what I mean, if I had to, you know what I mean, see the guy who owned it right before he got all fucked up. You know, and have him play and be like, oh, yes, you did a very good job, Mr. Guitkits. Mr. Guitkits, I'm going to prepare you a spaghetti dinner and some very sweet wine. Let me take my shirt down a little bit for you, my friend. So let's string this up now. For these particular, you know, guitars, I like the ball ends because we have to wrap around a little pipe cleaner and make a pom-pom. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got all those old pom-poms, old stock pom-poms. I don't really want to put those, experimental early nylon strings on this guitar. You know what I'm saying? Who knows the tension on them? You know what I mean? They're a little bit, old school. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll show you how we did that. I think I showed you in a couple other videos. I'll do one string, how we string them through here, thread them through. And that's what we'll see next, right? Earthwood, man. So there are 3 ball end strings with low tension. They're these, Ernesto Pala, and I believe the La Bella Folk series, and they're all made by Ernie Ball. All made by Ernie. Hey, Ernie. Hey, what's going on, Bert? Hey, Bert. All right, my good people. So here we are. We're going to put the strings on this beautiful guitar. We got our supplies, the strings, of course, regular old Scotch tape. This is some electric weed whacker line, the thinner stuff. You have 6 pipe cleaners, dental floss, waxed, preferably not mint unless you like a mini guitar. And we have our 6 beautiful, beautiful pins. Look, I want you to see these pins one more time, man. I want you to see it. I want you to take a look at that, man. You know what I'm saying? The old school pins, always had like this big inlay in the middle there. I like the best, man. Just saying, man. That's my preference. That's my preference. So first thing we got to do, man, is we got to put this little tiny weed whacker string. You want something that's going to, it's going to bring the thunder. You want to be able to get it too. So you're going to string this through here. So you see it, and it's going to come pretty easily. That's why we use the old weed whacker string, right? Just keep him up like that so he's accessible. We take this old set of strings here and we'll rip them open, man, like a heman. I'm a heman, right? This is the number 6 string. 1, 2, 6 times a lady, and I love you. Now we take the end of this string hair, and what we're gonna do, oh, sorry, that was unintentional. That was unintentional, man. That was unintentional, man. I don't like wasting people's time with a piece of Scotch tape. Sometimes time has to be wasted. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a waste of time is all the time I got. That went on wrong, of course. You know what I'm saying? Every time I want to do something right on the camera, the shit always goes incorrect. But that's life, man. That's life. Alright, so that's nice and taped, nice and thin. You want to try to keep it thin. You don't want to like bulky Bartaka moose, man. See this? Alright. We're going to wrap this little pipe cleaner around. We're going to try to keep the soft part of the pipe cleaner toward the back, you know what I mean? Not all the wires and stuff. A nice soft little pipe. You like the softness near you? Manual Noriega. You gotta talk. It's been 7 hours. Torture. This motherfucker's not gonna give in. You gimpy bastard. Now we're gonna pull this through. Hey. Now we're gonna keep it right there. We're gonna take one of these guys here. Because these are pretty thin. You know what I mean? Oh, I swim around like a small guy. We're going to take a little bit of this here dental floss here. Nice arm's length of it. Alright? Because it's wax. We're going to ball it up at the bottom. Just ball it up. You want to ball. Going ball in the night bar. Get the kids. Neil. W. Old Governor of California. Jeb. Bring him along too. We're going to teach him how the CIA does it. Oh, man. Oh. See that, man? My old age, I'm getting crotchety. You see that? Now, you want the channel going toward the string, of course. There it is. Tight with all my might, man. tight with all my might. See that? And we're going to do that times 6, man. Times 6. Peace be with. See you at the Glamours. Cut. There it is. Finally. You know, after my recent, need to mess around with friction pegs on this guitar and with, that ukulele. This guy was right for getting rid of those pegs. What a pain in the fucking ass friction pegs are. What a pain in the fucking ass, man. I think Holmes, was playing this thing fretless, actually. I had to put a little wooden bar here just to higher a little dowel, just to higher the action a little bit. The action is just so goddamn low. Even with this bar, on top of the regular saddle, we're still at 1.25 millimeters at the 12th fret, action-wise. I mean, that's insane. That's crazy. So, I think what he did, was he just sort of curved this down. He was playing it fretless. He repainted it. I think he shaved everything down. So I had to put little pieces of wadded up paper, in the bottom of those, nut grooves, just to, bring it up a little tiny bit. And of course this. But even with that wood, we have beautiful, beautiful action. It's a pain in the ass, very finicky. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a fucking goddamn shame that this guy fucking took the lacquer off the front of that instrument. Look how well preserved, all the shellac kept this instrument. You know what I'm saying? Look how well preserved that is. You know what I mean? And then look at the top of the instrument. You know what I mean? It's all fucked up. You should never have done that. And I kind of want to give you a story about what I think happened here. Now, they were always searching for the highest trebles in the days of gut strings. You know what I'm saying? Now, this guitar, I've talked to you about it before. It's about 100 years old, made in Spain. And I got it. Same thing, man. The top had been totally sanded off and the whole rest of the finish was there. I said, where is that? And I never refinished the top because I kind of liked it. I liked the way it sounded. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was cool. And this is like a 100-year-old guitar from Spain, from Europe. Like, why did they do that? You know what I mean? And years later, I actually heard a story from this man right here where I met him. That's Bobby G with the great Donovan Leach, man. You believe that, man? Bobby G with Donovan Leach. Well, Donovan tells a story about hitchhiking through Europe, in the mid-60s with his boy Gypsy Dave. You know what I'm saying? This guy, Gypsy Dave, was kind of his personal assistant / best friend. I don't know what else he did, man. He's died recently. This guy, Sexy Gypsy Dave was his name, and they went all around Europe. And Donovan noticed a lot of these, locals, because he met a lot of locals, and he would try to find the local musicians, the old guys, figure out new little styles from them. And had their, tops of their guitars all sanded off. He's like, what the fuck are you doing that for? Why would you do that? I don't know Donovan Curse. He's a real peaceful guy, you know what I'm saying? What the blasted are you shaving? And the answer was always the same, man. It brings out the warmth. It brings out the treble. It brings out the beauty of the guitar, you know what I mean? That was the answer Donovan got. And he traveled all over Europe, you know what I mean? Italy, Spain, you know what I mean? All the old world, just hitchhiking with this Gypsy Dave guy. And he saw it several times. So he got home, he got out, a big, block of sandpaper action. He sanded his guitar off, you know what I mean? And he was like, wow, this is incredible. And he had John Lennon over one night, you know what I mean? And he's like, look at this, man. Because he was showing John Lennon how to do this special finger pick. If you listen to the early version of Catch the Wind, John Lennon's like, how'd you do that, Don? And he had Donovan over. And Lennon was playing Donovan's guitar with the, top, off. And, this was like the late 60s by then. Right around India times. So after he left, John Lennon recently had his Gibson JE 160. You know what I'm saying? And he had it repainted by the Fool. You know what I mean? And it was covered with A, the Gibson lacquer. You know what I mean? B, You know what I mean? It was covered with, you know what I mean? The fool had put all this horrible paint over it, and it just closed up the sound, and he just hated it. You know what I mean? That was his favorite guitar, the J160E, the Gibson, the Jumbo. So he sanded it off the top, like Donovan said. You know what I mean? He sanded off all the paint, sanded it out. He's like, this is fucking great. And he loved it. You know what I mean? Then he went and, sanded off his Epiphone Casino. And, oh, this is fucking great too. And Harrison came over and played it like, Mom, this is fucking great. And he went and he shaved off all the, you know what I mean, paint off of his Epiphone Casino, the whole body, not just the top. And McCartney said, oh, this is really good, man. I like that. And he went home and he sanded off his Rickenbacker bass. What? I was saying McCartney was the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's definitely a billionaire. So, anyways, it is what it is, man. So this is the oldest guitar I own. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure to do it. I've been talking so much, man, for the past 2 or 3 months. You know what I mean? I'm almost hoarse, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you it's exactly 35, 1840. I can't tell you. You know what I mean? I can just tell you what the woods feel like, and I can tell you what the, you know what I'm saying, general, you know what I'm saying, having messed with antiques and old stuff all my life, just the general ambiance of the old parts feel like. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, the style, an old master, could have learned how to build a guitar in 1850 from somebody who'd been building guitars for 50 years and just, building guitars in a very early antiquated style in those workshop days. And somebody he trained in the 1870s could have been making guitars in the 1930s, and then, like, you know what I'm saying, a very 100-year-old style. So you never really know the true date. You got to judge it by, like, the materials and the feel of it, man, and just the age of it. And to me, this guitar, I mean, I had a lot of guitars and a lot of old guitars. This feels like very, very old instrument, man. Very old instrument, you know what I'm saying? I love it. I think it came out great. I hope you guys enjoyed the little show, you know what I'm saying? All the special times we had together, you know what I'm saying? Together at last. So anyway, let's hear it, you know what I'm saying? Let's hear it before it disintegrates into little tiny pieces. And then we can say in a Viennese style, peace be with you, look after yourself, peace be with you, look after yourself, peace be with you.
Great Scott! It worked! Marty found it! And the only reason he found it is he's not too bright. I said Vienna. He showed up in Venice. And there he found Michael Jackson McBrown on a gondola with 2 boys playing this guitar. My great uncle took one look at Marty and the game was over. This was the real reason that the Libyans came to me in the first place. They weren't looking for a bomb. They were looking for this guitar. Michael Jackson McBrown is a hero to their people. I didn't know what they were talking about, so I offered to build him a bomb. He was wearing a turban. What do you expect? As soon as this video's over, I'm going back to 1985 and taking care of business. So let's hurry up. Hey man, that's for all the true fans that saw episode 110. You know what I'm saying? The rest of you, like, he's some kind of fanboy loser. Back to the Future. Come on. That's for the true fans. Peace be with you. Always. This is a fine instrument. Without a doubt. But it's a museum piece. You know what I'm saying? I played it last night for about 2 hours. And I was done. I had little pieces of guitar all over me. Every time I play a note on it, the value of this guitar goes down by 3%. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be bankrupt by the end of this episode, man. So, you know what I've really been thinking about a lot lately? Especially during this, I'm thinking about Dr. Restivo. I think that F.E., whoever he was, wherever he was kind of like Dr. Restivo in that Dr. Restivo's true calling was a chiropractor, you know. But he managed to make 71 guitars also in his lifetime. And I think that F.E. was some kind of craftsman, you know what I mean? Cabinet maker, you know, carpenter, cobbler, woodworker, who knows, you know what I mean? Whatever the fuck, shoemaker, you know, whatever the fuck they did, man. So I think that FE was kind of, you know what I'm saying, like forgotten about. So I didn't forget you, FE. I appreciate you. I love your guitar. Beautiful instrument. I'm going to play it very carefully, very sparingly. Well, anyway, I'm going to play a little medley of 3 songs that have never been played on this instrument ever, not one time. I played this medley only in my head, and I hope I could play it on the guitar. I'm like a one take, first take kind of guy, man.
Today is the greatest day I ever know. Can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's such a roll. Now burn my eyes out before I get out. Oh yeah. The first to take this out of mine, forever with me till the end of time. Your love for me has just got to be real before you know the way I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel. I know you want it. I know you want it. She's a good girl. I know you want it. 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 She's a good girl. Want to get past it. This girl's not plastic. I want to get blasted. She's a good girl. I know you want it. I know you want it. Want to get nasty, dirty and trashy. Hey man. 3 songs that have never been played on this instrument. Doc Brown, I'm glad we could save your life. Peace be with you. Enjoy the rest of your summer, if you have a summer. You know what I'm saying? Be summered out, man. Peace be with you. Till next time. If there's a next time, there'll be a next time, man. There's always tomorrow. There'll be sun tomorrow. Tomorrow.